Coaxial Communications, in conjunction with the Columbus Area Cable Operators, presents High School Football 86. Tonight from Reynoldsburg High School, the Gahanna Lincoln Lions take on the Reynoldsburg Raiders.
Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Buckeye Optical and Ohio Appliance Rental.
Week number 8 of high school football action comes your way from Reynoldsburg High School. The Gahanna Lincoln Lions take on the Reynoldsburg Raiders. Good evening, everyone. It's homecoming here at Reynoldsburg High School. It is the 40th anniversary of Reynoldsburg High School. We have a great OCC Ohio matchup as Gahanna Lincoln takes on Reynoldsburg. I'm Randy Reinhardt. Gahanna Lincoln comes in with a record of 5-2 on the season. They take on Reynoldsburg 1-6, and Coach Jim Anderson joins me once again for week number 8. And Coach, both of these teams are trying to turn it around right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. And as I understand it, they have a change at quarterback, and both squads do, that is. And that might be a wise thing to do because the quarterback's your coach on the field. He's your leader. And if the team won't follow the leader, you're in trouble offensively. So they might look to another fellow to see if he can't get that team to follow, and I'm sure that's what they're going to try to plan to do this evening, both teams.
In tonight's game, Bill Driesbach makes his first start for the Gahanna Lincoln Lions. Mike Matheny will get his second start in replacing Larry Thompson at quarterback for the Raiders. And earlier I had a chance to talk to both head coaches. I talked to Phil Koppel from Gahanna Lincoln, and I talked to Rob Sass from Reynoldsburg. Hear those conversations. Coach, the Lions come into this game with a 5-2 record, obviously still shooting for the playoffs. But how important is this game? Is it more important, A, from a playoff standpoint, or B, trying to reestablish that winning tradition that you have at Gahanna High School?
Obviously, to reestablish the winning tradition. We played well last week, we felt, and we played well enough to win, and we didn't. And so what you do, you pick up the pieces and you come back and you just work a little harder, and we've done that this week. And this is a very important game to us. The playoffs, they're waiting for somebody, and that's something that we'll look forward to if we have earned that. But right now, the most important thing we have to do is we must beat Reynoldsburg.
Friday night, the Lions take on the Raiders. A lot of people haven't seen the Lions so far this season. Who are some of the starters they can look for on offense?
Well, offensively, we run primarily a wing T, and we have one returning lineman in the interior line, and that's John Thomas, who played center a year ago and is playing there this year. And it's split, and we have Bill Kakis, who has come up with some very big catches for us over the season. In the backfield, Mark Hardy has played the entire season as a halfback. Todd Reynolds has played the first 7 games at quarterback. And otherwise, we've had to do some shifting around in the backfield with the absence of Kevin Hoffaker and then his backup, Chuck Backus, who was just ruled out also for the rest of the season.
Coach, on defense, who are some of the lines we can look for Friday night?
Well, primarily it'll be our middle linebacker, and our defense is always predicated upon his ability to move to the football and make tackles. And this year it's Tyler Nunley. He's actually starting for his second season. He was our leading tackler a year ago and is repeating at the same this year. We feel we have some good defensive linemen, and I think the secret, offensively and defensively, is that they play as a team. We get that cohesiveness that has always been a part of our football tradition.
Friday night, you go into hostile territory to take on the Raiders. You know they're going to be pumped up. It's the 40th anniversary of the high school. What do you feel the Gahanna Lincoln Lions have to do to come out on top in that game Friday night?
Well, we have to play the kind of defense that we've played most of the season, and we have to rejuvenate the offense a little bit and get the ball moving on the ground and get the ball into the end zone and give the defense some time on the bench to rest.
Best of luck Friday night, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Coach, the Raiders came out of the gate fast with a big win over Whitehall the first week of the season. Since then, the Raiders have lost the last 6 games. Can you put your finger on what's gone wrong the last month and a half?
Well, Randy, you know, we were really hurt with injuries. We lost a key player in our offensive line right in the last quarter of the Whitehall game. Jay Blakely went down with a knee, and he was out. And Jay was playing very good ball for us, and Jay weighed 246 pounds. And when you take him out, and then we came right back, Don Hauser, our big tackle, was out at that time at 255, and then the injuries just kept multiplying and multiplying, and it's really taken us this long to get things put back together.
Coach, a lot of people haven't seen the Raiders this season. Who are some of the Raiders we can look for on offense and defense Friday night when you take on Gahanna?
Okay, in our backfield, we feature Travis Perry at our tailback, along with Reggie Phillips, and another senior and we feel that those gentlemen give us a real good combination there at the halfback position. And Larry Thompson and Patrick Bryant and Troy Durson will work in there at our split ends, and we have two young men playing fullback for us, Gary Young and Tom Weller, and it appears that Mike Matheny will probably quarterback again this week for us. And Mike's got a really nice arm. He's really improved over the last 4 or 5 weeks and really come on, and he and Larry have gone head-to-head all year long, and Mike's come out the winner right now at the quarterback position.
Coach, on defense, what Raiders can we look for? I know you thought defense would be the strength of the team at the start of the season.
Right. And really, defense has been for us. Our defense has played well, especially the last 3 weeks. We have a lot of our seniors in there. We've got Brad Gosnell at one linebacker, and the other linebacker is rotated with Gary Young, a junior, and Doug Cochran, who starts at center for us on offense, and Doug rotates in there. So our linebacking core is experienced, and they're doing a fine job. And we've got Hauser back at one tackle, a young man by the name of Sean Moore at the other tackle. Senior Randy Hawthorne playing his 3rd year for us at nose, and Chris Bell and Norris Freeman at the ends are doing a real good job.
Coach, very quickly, when you put it down on paper, what do you feel you have to do Friday night to beat the Lions?
Well, I always worry about Gahanna playing power football against us, and that's one of the areas that we've really tried to develop here at Reynoldsburg, the ability to play power football and defend power football. And I think this year, it's another one of those years where in order for us to beat Gahanna, we're going to have to stop that power game of theirs. We're going to have to play good, sound defense. And offensively, we're going to have to move the ball, keep their offense off the field, and no turnovers.
Coach, best of luck Friday night, and congratulations to everyone at Reynoldsburg High School on your 40th anniversary.
Thank you, Randy.
Will Gahanna end a 2-game losing streak, or Reynoldsburg? Will they win for the first time in 7 weeks? Stick around and find out. High School Football 86 kicks off in just a moment.
Buckeye Optical fits my style.
Imagine this, imagine that, imagine this and that too.
So express yourself with fashion eyewear from Buckeye Optical and save with these terrific coupons. $10 off a complete pair of glasses, buy a pair of glasses and get half off a second pair, or buy 2 pair of glasses and get a 3rd pair free. Look for details in the Buckeye Optical Vision Report in your paper news.
The moon is shining brightly over Reynoldsburg High School. We're about ready for the start of tonight's game. The Raiders won the toss and will receive. Gahanna will kick off. Gahanna will be going from left to right on your screen. The Raiders from right to left. The Raiders in the purple and white. Gahanna left to right in the white, trimmed in blue and gold. Another thing we might want to talk about, Coach, before the start of tonight's game is the fact that Gahanna is changing quarterbacks, but Reynoldsburg had been using the wishbone offense. Tonight, look for them to go from the I formation simply because it's hard for them to get 3 healthy backs into the ballgame at one time.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of teams will do. They will go to the I for just those kinds of reasons. The I formation is not as difficult to run. It doesn't require quite the finesse that the wishbone does, so you might see the I quite a bit.
A reminder, we'd like to hear from you if you enjoy high school football. There's the address. We can't continue to do high school sports unless we hear from you. If you like high school basketball, drop us a line. Perhaps we could work on that too. We're just about set for the start of tonight's game. Gahanna and Reynoldsburg, a big east side rivalry. You can really throw those records out the window as we have the kickoff and the start of tonight's game. It's high and deep. Phillips has it, and we've got flags on the field. As you can see, the balloons going off over the top of the stadium here at Reynoldsburg High School, flying up around. There's a big clump around midfield right now, hitting the lights and working their way out. You can see them up there in the sky. Take a look at that right now. The officials are unsorting the situation on the field. I wonder if maybe they were surprised by seeing all those balloons, Coach.
I don't think so. I think they were expecting it. Probably Gahanna was told about it, and I'm sure the Reynoldsburg players were expecting it. I don't think it was that. They're just anxious to get into the ball game, so somebody inevitably steps offside.
There is an encroachment penalty, 5-yard penalty on the Raiders, so the Lions will kick off from the 45-yard line. Handling the kicking duties for the Lions is number 11, Chris Pfeiffer. He's 5'11", 174, and a senior. Pfeiffer has 1 field goal to his credit this season. Interestingly enough, it was when Ed Bourne had a shoe that became waterlogged in that Westland game, which lasted till about 12:45 in the morning. And Pfeiffer came in and kicked a field goal. Game they won 17-13 in overtime. High driving kick. That's Phillips back at the 6-yard line. Phillips across the 10, 15, top of the screen. Phillips working his way outside across the 20. He's down at around the 22-yard line. Let's take a look at the starting offense for the Reynoldsburg Raiders. It looks something like this. Up front, it's Clapham, Sharps, Long, Cochran. Grace will alternate with Hawthorne. The right tackle's Bourne. You can see the split in number 21, Patrick Bryant in the backfield. Matheny along with Young and Perry. Brian Frederick is 5'4" and about 121 pounds. He'll start in the slot. 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Mark the ball at just about the 22-yard line. Glad to have you for high school football here on cable TV. Matheny up under center. That's Travis Perry. Perry works his way up to just about the 23-yard line as we saw Brad Gosnell in on offense there. Let's take a look now at the Gahanna Lincoln defense. Up front, it will be Everett, Frazier, Rollins, and Matthews. The 3 linebackers are Radcliffe, Nunnally. Bourne will alternate with Matt Queen. In the secondary, it's Kakis, Reynolds, Harmon, and Allison. A gain of 1 on the play. Let's call it 2nd and 9. Wide bottom of the screen, that's Larry Thompson, who used to be the starting quarterback, an excellent wide receiver and defensive back. Gosnell in motion, pitch bottom of the screen. Here comes Travis Perry trying to turn the corner. He is strung out. He has nowhere to go. Among others, in on the stop, number 12, Todd Reynolds.
There were a lot of people in on that stop. Number 78 was in for the Lions. That young man is David Rollins, and several backs were in on it also.
Talked about the Lions. Really, the strength of the team has been their defense. Offensively, they have sputtered, as have the Reynoldsburg Raiders so far this season. As you take a look at this from ground level, Perry gets it back to just about the 20-yard line. That's going to set up a 3rd and let's call it 12 situation for the Raiders. Matheny goes back to throw. He looks. The pass is incomplete, looking for number 21 on the play. Patrick Bryant just overthrew him, setting up a 4th and 12 situation.
Well, they had the receiver wasn't open, actually. He was covered like a blanket. There were about 4 defenders on the football when it was put in the air. He had plenty of time to throw the ball, not enough receivers downfield, I didn't think.
And we talked about the Reynoldsburg offense. They've only scored 2 touchdowns in the last 5 games. They scored 61 points in their first 2 games, however. Doug Cochran now stays into the ball game. He'll punt for the Raiders, standing back at just about his own 5-yard line. Cochran averaging just about 31.5 yards a kick. Left footer booms at a line drive kick, bounces at midfield. Kakis scoops it at the 42, and he's going to be brought down just about there. And on the stop for the Raiders, number 38. Boy, he's small, but he's quick. That's Brian Frederick. 39 yards on the punt, Coach.
It was excellent coverage on the punt. Kakis, if he gets his hands on it, he's an excellent athlete, so he might have made some yardage. He had to go back for it, and of course he lost his footing, so taken down he was.
After this play, we'll take a look at the Gahanna offense. 1st and 10, mark the ball at just about the 41-yard line. Inside, taking the ball. We'll check on that just a second. It looks like Ed Bourne. Bourne will gain about 3 on the play as we take a look at the Gahanna offense. Up front, it's Kakis, Steinhauser, Frazier, Thomas, Tackett, Matthews, and Sanders. The quarterback starting his first game is Bill Driesbach. In the backfield, Ed Bourne, Don Turner, and Mark Hardy. Let's call it 2nd and 7. Mark the ball just about the 44-yard line. Handoff goes to number 42. That's Mark Hardy. He works his way out across the 45 to about the 47 as we take a look at the Reynoldsburg defense. Basically a 5-2 most of the evening. Up front, it's Bell, Hauser, Hawthorne, Moore, and Freeman. The linebackers, 2 excellent ones in Gosnell and Young. In the secondary, a lot of injuries for the Raiders. Matt Brown makes his first start along with Chris Harrison's back there, Larry Thompson, and Eric Gassaway. 9:05 left to go first period from Reynoldsburg High School. Gahanna, Lincoln, and Reynoldsburg. Glad to have you on Coaxial Channel 16, All-American Channel 10, and Cube Channel 1. 3rd and 4 situation for the Lions. Driesbach goes back to throw. The pressure's on, and he's brought down back at the 45-yard line.
He had a good linebacker rush on that time. He didn't get too much time to set it up. He had a hair of a second there, not much more than that, so he couldn't get his pattern set up. He had to eat the football.
As you take a look at this one more time, Driesbach goes back to throw. Pressure is on. No less than 3 Raiders in there. The first man actually to get to him was number 92, Chris Bell. Hensley into punt now, averaging 32.5 yards. Low snap, gets the kickoff. It's low and short, bounces around the 30-yard line. Thompson lets it go. and rolls down to just about the 16-yard line, and that's where the Raiders will take over. 1st and 10 with 8:13 left to go here in the first period and no score.
So far, it looks like a defensive battle again, Randy.
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing Gahanna is trying to avoid is a 13-7 score, Coach, because the last 2 weeks it turned out to be the losing score for them. They lost 13-7 to Groveport, really in the last minute of that ball game, and then they lost 13-7 to Upper Arlington. First and 10. That's Perry. Perry gets the ball up across the 20-yard line to just about the 21. Perry's a man who's been really fighting injuries all season for the Raiders. Sprained thumb, bruised ribs, problem with one of his legs, but he's out there and starting. We talked about the Raiders are very thin in the backfield, and we talked about Gahanna too. They lost a key cog in their offense. We'll talk about a little later on, Kevin Hoffaker. A gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Mark the ball at just about the 21-yard line. Matheny goes back to throw, looks downfield. The pressure is on, and he is brought down.
Yeah, he didn't get much time to set up on that play. There was a hard rush by, I think, is that Kakis there?
In on the tackle, Coach, was number 63. That's David Ratcliffe.
Yep. Put on a hard rush. He was on top of him, and just as soon as he took about 3 steps deep.
Last year, Radcliffe went to a private school in Chattanooga, Tennessee, likes golf and skiing and sacking the quarterback. Good night. Matheny goes down at just about the 14-yard line. That's going to set up a 3rd, and let's call it about 13 situation now for the Raiders. Young in motion. Matheny's pass downfield could be intercepted. It is in and out of the hands of number 20, Bill Kakis, one of the best athletes, I think, on the Gahanna Lincoln football team.
Well, the pass reception was to go to Brian Frederick, of course. He was the one deep, number 38, and actually he saved that ball from being intercepted. Kakis had the ball in his hands, and he just nailed him and pulled the ball away from him.
Kakis on this, Coach, actually ran the better route on this pattern, and unfortunately just could not come up with the ball as Cochran stays into the game to punt. High driving kick by Cochran across midfield at the 47-yard line. Kakis lets it roll across the 40, picks it up at the 37-yard line. Room top of the screen, 45. Kakis down very close to just about midfield, and the Lions will take over 1st and 10. Interesting on that play, he let it go by him 2 separate times, and it got inside the 40-yard line, picked it up, got good yardage. 49 yards on that punt by Cochran.
Right, it was an excellent punt, and Kakis did an excellent job there. He kind of lulled them to sleep a little bit. When they weren't noticing enough, he just picked it up and went outside.
Kakis down at the 47 of Gahanna. 1st and 10 for the Lions from there. Driesbach throws. The pass is incomplete along the far sideline. Looking on the play for number 88 is tight end John Sanders.
Now the Lions are using a wing T offense, and you throw a lot of passes off of action football. So they're using play fakes. That time they use an inside counter fake to throw the ball. It usually gives you some more time to set up.
And they had Hardy in motion on that previous play. 2nd and 10 now. Mark the ball at around the 47-yard line. Handoff inside goes to number 23, and that is Don Turner. Turner advances his way out to close to midfield. Turner, 5'10", 161, and a senior. We were talking a little bit about the fact that the Lions lost Kevin Hoffaker, and, you know, Gahanna is a deep team. They have a lot of players, but when you lose someone like Hoffaker, who, my goodness, rushed for 175 yards and 24 carries, there's been a big adjustment on offense, and that could be one of the reasons why the Lions offense has had some problems in past weeks. 3rd and 6. 6 minutes left to go here in the first period. On the counter to Hardy. Hardy will go nowhere. Great pursuit at the line of scrimmage. You can see 2 Raiders in on the stop. You see number 13 getting up for the Raiders. That's Chris Harrison. Along with him, number 82, the man they call the Gaz, Brad Gosnell, leading tackler on the team the last 2 seasons.
But the guy that made that all happen was Chris Bell. He set a hard rush from his end spot, knocked off the lead blocker, the trap blocker. He knocked him into the ball carrier, set him deeper. That stopped the play.
Bell long and lean at 6'3", 175. Hensley to punt. This time a good snap. High, extremely short kick. Bounces at the 35, inside the 30. Thompson backs away. It rolls inside the 20. And once again, a good roll for the punters as the ball is finally down at the 18-yard line. Raiders take over their 1st and 10. 35 yards on that punt by Hensley. 40th anniversary of Reynoldsburg High School. Glad to have you on cable TV. And I tell you, it was an exciting start to this evening's ball game, letting the balloons go. As you take a look at Rob Sass in his second season at Reynoldsburg High School, outstanding young coach. And you see Phil Koppel along the far sidelines in his 9th year at Gahanna Lincoln High School. The team made it to the playoffs, remember, back in 1982. Handoff goes inside. And I tell you, the strength of the defensive line of the Gahanna Lions has really shown itself here in the first period.
Well, David Rollins just took the offensive blocker and set him back in his own backfield. So he stopped that play. It drove the ball deeper than what it wanted to go, and it was stopped. As a matter of fact, he drove the blocker into the ball carrier.
A gain of 1 on the play. Let's call it 2nd and 9 as Larry Thompson comes in with a play from Rob Sass, and number 21, Patrick Bryan, checks out. 2nd and 9, 4:33 left to go here in the first period. Matheny, as we said, making his second start off of a great performance 2.5 weeks ago against Grove City. Handoff goes inside to Travis Perry. Confusion from the word go. He's brought down at the 20-yard line. Tackle made on the play by number 72. That's Todd Matthews.
Okay, that time Scott Frazier went in and took 2 blockers and tackled one of the blockers and one of the backs. The back didn't have the ball, so it didn't do him any good. But to bring down 2 people at one time, you're talking about strength. There's a good example of strength.
And offensively, the Raiders looking for strength now. 3rd and 8, 3:56 to go first period. Thompson is wide to the top of the screen. Matheny goes back to throw. Pressure's on. The pass downfield is incomplete. Looking for Thompson at around the 35-yard line. Would have been enough for a first down.
Yeah, they could have had that pass. There was time, just enough time to throw. He got time to set up, got it airborne, and the receiver was open, actually.
A bit of an irony, Coach, for both teams. The starting quarterbacks for the first half of the season for both teams are also starting in the secondary. Larry Thompson for the Raiders, and of course, we talked about him a little earlier, Todd Reynolds starts in the secondary for the Gahanna Lincoln Lions.
That is different.
Cochran to punt. Low snap in between his legs. He might have to eat it. The ball is still free. He gets up. Will he try to kick? Oh, he is brought down at the 5-yard line. The first big break of the game goes for the Lions as they'll have the ball 1st and goal from the 5. Cochran really didn't know, but he had room in front of him there. He could have possibly tried to get that kick off. Take a look at this one more time, Coach. He loses the snap here. It goes through his legs. Gets away there, gets up. He actually had about a second or two to get it away, but with 3 men coming after him, he decided just to eat the ball back at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal for the Lions from there. Griesbach hands off to Bourne. Bourne will work his way from the 5 down to just about the 3-yard line, setting up a 2nd and goal from there.
Bourne began to lose the ball before he hit the turf on that one. It could have been a return fumble.
Gary Young, who starts offensively and defensively, both ways, makes the tackle. Let's call it 2nd and goal from the 4 with 3:05 left to go here in the first period. Coming up at halftime, we'll be entertained by both high school marching bands, as it is homecoming here at Reynoldsburg High School. Suspense, drama, and pageantry as they announce the Reynoldsburg homecoming queen right here on Coaxial All-American and Cube. Backs are split in the backfield. Griesbach calling signals. Bourne again, and once again, a very slow handoff, and I don't think Bourne knew he had the ball until he crossed just about the 5-yard line.
The problem was the defender wasn't blocked. He very well met the ball carrier Bourne right in the line of scrimmage. So.
And of course, it's Griesbach's first start at quarterback too. A little confusion there, perhaps, Coach?
Maybe, but we were still a man not blocked. That's the confusion. That was the big reason for the failure of that play.
Yeah, never like that unwanted guest in the backfield.
Right.
3rd and goal from the 4 now. Griesbach brings him up. Bourne, the lone running back in the backfield. Turner in motion. Bourne trying to spin and turn his way, and he doesn't get in. He didn't make the tackle, but preventing the touchdown so he couldn't break the plane of the goal line was number 92, Chris Bell.
He's got a couple of yards to make yet, so they stopped him quite short of the goal line.
Gosnell got him from the bottom. Bell got him from on top. If Bell doesn't hit him from on top, he might get a chance to work his way to the goal line.
He was
double team and brought down.
Let me tell you, we're seeing good defense.
Remember, Bourne has kicked 2 out of 4 field goal attempts this season. The ball is at the 3-yard line. It would be just about a 19-yard attempt. You have to watch for the fake, but Pfeiffer is in to kick the ball. Pfeiffer will kick it. The snap, the kick is up. Is it wide left? It is wide left. Pfeiffer with the attempt. The kick goes wide left. The Raiders dodge a bullet with 1:21 left to go. Still no score here in the first period.
And that was a great job by the Raiders defense. But you know the job that they need to do all the way down the line of scrimmage offensively. They need to at least stalemate the man over them, and they're not doing that. At 1 and 2 people are being driven into their backfield off the line of scrimmage. No blocker. That should never happen to a blocker.
See the attempt again, and you can see even from that angle up here in the stands that the kick was wide left. Both teams struggle on offense the last few weeks. We've talked about it. The handoff goes inside to Perry, and Perry spins and loses his balance. He'll gain just about 1 on the play, setting up a 2nd and 9. The officials for tonight's game, the referee is Jim Cameron, the umpire is John Weil, the linesman is Ray Wood, the line judge is Tony Pelican, and the back judge is Tom Burton. Our monitor shows a lovely shade of yellow up here on the screen.
I would think that they'd want to trap. The Raiders ought to be looking to trap either Frazier, number 66, for the Lions, or number 78, another defensive tackle, because they're raising havoc in there.
That's David Rollins. 2nd and 9. Matheny rolls top of the screen. Pressure's on. He tries to dish it off. The pass is incomplete. He was looking for Travis Perry. He underthrew him in on the coverage for the Lions. Number 63, David Ratcliffe.
Those guys are setting such a hard defensive charge that you wouldn't need to trap them, really. They'd be so deep in the backfield if somebody released off of them.
With 37 seconds left to go in a 3rd and 9 situation for Reynoldsburg. We thought this would be a defensive battle from the top of tonight's game, and so far the first period has showed nothing to make us change our mind. That's Young in motion. Matheny goes back to throw. Pressure on, top of the screen. The pass is incomplete. Off the hands of Travis Perry. Good coverage on the play. No less than 2 Lions over there, and the main man on coverage was number 63, David Ratcliffe.
Well, again, I saw Frazier. He's a tough cookie, and he's a big, strong young man, 6'2", about 210, and he's just overpowering the offensive people in front of him.
Once again, we apologize for the bursts of yellow. I think the full moon must be having some effect here at Reynoldsburg High School tonight. As Cochran goes back to punt, a high driving kick again by Cochran. Fair catch is called for by Kakis. He'll take it back at the 45-yard line. And the Lions will take over 1st and 10 with 26 seconds left to go here in the first period.
That's just a bit better position than they were in a few minutes ago, or a few moments ago, actually. The time, not too much time elapsed. But we saw that letting Gahanna have the ball. 1st and goal on the 5. They're in a lot better position.
A lot of games we've seen this season coach the first period and sometimes even the 2nd quarter, too. It's been a chess match. Who gets good field position, drives it in for a touchdown, and we've had a couple shutouts the last few weeks. The handoff goes inside. Carrying the ball is Bourne, and Bourne will get it from the 45 to the 46. Gain just 1 on the play. Let's call it 2nd and 9.
Now, Driesbach did a good job faking because he had a man taking him all the way down the line of scrimmage like he had the football.
And you saw ground level that Driesbach was nailed right after he got rid of that ball. Bourne, an interesting story, too. He's interested in computers, knows 3 different computer languages, and he likes to lift weights like most football players do. And we've reached the end of the first period. A lot of excitement, no scoring. Gahanna Lincoln, nothing. Reynoldsburg, nothing. We'll be back for the 2nd period in just a moment.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, you. How much longer are you going to watch that puny black and white you call a TV?
Did you know you can just pick up the phone, call Ohio Appliance Rental, and have a beautiful RCA color console or deluxe 19-inch remote color portable delivered here before the next big game? There's no deposit, and you can rent to own. Ohio Appliance Rental, 471-8423 or 237-3026.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin. I've been very fortunate to have a successful football career. Sometimes people ask me what means the most to you. Was it your time at OSU? Was it winning the Heisman? Was it your time at the Bengals? All those things meant a lot to me, but the most important thing of all has always been being able to get up every morning, look myself in the eye, and know that I was being the best that I could be. I couldn't have done that if I was messing with drugs and alcohol. They keep you from being all that you can be. So take my advice, just say no to drugs and alcohol. Keep your self-respect, and there's no telling how far you can go.
When you think of sports, think of Roush Sporting Goods, with 2 locations staffed by professionals specializing in personal service. We have name brand equipment and clothing like Rawlings, Nike, Wilson, McGregor, Puma, and Speedo. Roush Sporting Goods for all your athletic needs.
Come see our selection of high school jackets. We do our own sewing and have most area high schools in stock. Roush Sporting Goods, your high school jacket connection.
Welcome back for second quarter action here from Reynoldsburg High School. No score. Gahanna, Lincoln, and Reynoldsburg. 2nd and 9 situation awaits the Lions. Drees back to the line of scrimmage. Inside, the handoff goes to number 23. That's Turner. And check that, that is number 22, and that is Eric Shepard. Shepard, a man who missed a game earlier in the season with a shoulder injury, and Shepard gets the ball all the way down to just about the Raider 46-yard line. From this vantage point, Shepard will be about 1 yard short. As you take a look at it from ground level one more time, Coach.
Gosnell made the play again on that. He's been in on most defensive plays. He's an excellent ball player.
Lions trying to keep the drive alive with a 3rd and 1 from the Raider 46. Handoff goes inside. It looks like it could be Tracy Doss in on the carry. Doss advances the ball across the 45-yard line down to about the 43. That's enough for a first down. Doss came into this game carrying the ball 14 times for 69 yards on the season. Stat through one period, no first down for either team. Rushing yards, Gahanna 9, Reynoldsburg -5. Passing yards, neither for either team, so 9 and -5 total yards in the first period. 14 plays for Gahanna, 15 for Reynoldsburg. Those stats are unofficial. 1st and 10, 11-10 left to go here in the first half. Driesbach goes back to throw, setting up the screen. Top of the screen, the pass is behind number 42, Mark Hardy. Screen was set. Good play. Drew the defensive line of the Raiders in, but he just threw the pass a little behind number 42, Mark Hardy.
I think the Raiders had about 2 defenders over there on the cover. That may not have been enough, because I saw 4 Lion uniforms over there to block them, so that could have been a good play for the Lions. It seems like they've picked up their offense. They're moving with more assurance and more authority than they were earlier.
I think we have Alumni cheerleaders down there too. 11:03 left to go. 2nd and 10. Shepard takes the handoff again. This time he'll only gain about 2 on the play. Again on the stop, among others, number 65, Doug Cochran.
Yeah, that was a nice defensive play by Mr. Cochran. The Raiders are doing a good job defensively, as are the Lions, as the statistics certainly bear it out, don't they?
Shepard, a little surprised. Sometimes you don't see him start. He's done an excellent job for Gahanna this season. 80 rushes, 401 yards. That's good for about 5 yards every time he carries the football. But as we said, the Lions fairly deep at running back, although they have lost backers this season. Another big loss, along with Hoffaker. 3rd and 6 situation as Turner's in motion. Pressure is on. Driesbach turns the corner. He's looking downfield to throw. The pass is complete down inside the 25-yard line to the 23. He hits his tight end, number 88, John Sanders.
And John Sanders did an excellent job. He saw that his quarterback was in trouble. He had to evade a tackler and made his way back upfield to receive the ball. He didn't wait down there for the ball to reach him. He came up to the ball.
And an excellent job by Driesbach, too, because as he rolled top the screen, there was the pressure, but watch, he regains his composure. He's still looking downfield, looks bottom of the screen, goes back. 3rd time he looked to the top of the screen. He finally found Sanders. Good for a first down to the 23-yard line. Driesbach turns and tries to come back the other way, and the Goz is there again. Gosnell in on the stop. Talked about Gosnell the last 2 years, the leading tackler for the Raiders. And Driesbach, Coach, was this a planned play or was this a broken play?
I think I was going to say that to you. It looks like it may be no, that was planned, because he faked that handoff. He
into the gut of
put
Shepard?
it in and pulled it out, yeah.
But perhaps I think the contact slowed him up a little bit, because when he put it in the gut of Shepard, he was a little closer to him than he thought.
Maybe he was behind him.
2nd and 10. Mark the ball once again at the 23-yard line. Here comes Turner, top of the screen. Turner trying to get down to about the 20-yard line. He's brought down at the 21. Number 25 in on the stop for the Raiders. No, you don't have him, because I don't have him either.
I looked all over both guards. No, I don't have him.
And no one up here has him either. We talked about this. Both of these teams have really been racked by injuries, but I took a look down the Reynoldsburg roster, and I see no less than 14 different gentlemen who could have started or would have started have been knocked out because of injuries. A few knee injuries, some lower back problems, a couple of gentlemen out with the flu, a couple broken fingers. 3rd and 8 now. Mark the ball at the 21-yard line. On the reverse, off the counter, here comes Turner across the 20. Turner is down to just about the 17-yard line. Won't be enough for a first down. Guess who's in on the stop?
Brad Gosnell.
You got it.
Yep.
And we have a flag, it looks like, on the bottom down here. And we do at the lower end of the field down here at the 18-yard line. Illegal shift is the call. As you take a look at this one more time, handoff initially goes to Rob Reese, who you see in motion. Reese then will dish it back to Turner, and that's why you see the illegal shift. Probably 2 men in motion that play.
Yeah.
And they'll assess this penalty, and let's see if they mark it back to the 22-yard line. The officials again for tonight's game. The referee is Jim Cameron. The umpire is John Weil. The linesman is Ray Wood. The line judge is Tony Pelican, and the back judge is Tom Burton. Illegal shift the call. So move the ball back to just about, check that, mark it back at the 26-yard line from the original line of scrimmage. That'll set up a 3rd and 13 situation now with 8:39 and running here in the first half. Gahanna came into the game with a 5-2 record. They were 2-2 in league play. Reynoldsburg 1-6 overall. They won their opening game against Whitehall by a score of 30-13. They've lost 6 consecutive games, and they are 0-4 in league play. Griesbach fumbles the snap, picks the ball up, but unfortunately you cannot advance a fumble in that situation if his knee was on the ground. Let's see where they mark it, if it's at the 26 or the 23. They'll mark it back at the 26-yard line. So now, Coach, you're talking about the possibility of what, about a 43, 44-yard field goal attempt?
They might have the guy to do it. I'm not sure he can make that distance.
Take a look at the snap one more time. Kind of got tangled up, looked like a pretty good snap. Griesbach picked up the ball, but he cannot advance it, so they mark it back at, let's call it just about the 27-yard line, actually. At 44 yards away, I think they might go for it on a 4th and about 13 situation, Coach.
Yep.
Griesbach brings him up to the line of scrimmage, the back's in an eye. Handoff inside, goes to Shepard. Shepard 15, Shepard 10, 5. Shepard touchdown with 7:31 left to go. The Lions take a 6-0 lead.
It's kind of a shocker, really, even sitting up here, because things had not gone quite that well offensively for either ball team. To have that thing break out now for 27 yards.
Take a look at this one more time.
Good fake by Griesbach coming out of there, hands off to
number 22, Eric Shepard. Shepard takes it into the end zone. Really, it didn't seem like there was a lot of element of surprise in that particular play, but it caught the Raiders off guard. As the 7th point is attempted, the snap, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Pfeiffer adds the 7th point, and now the Lions take a 7-0 lead.
What Griesbach is doing very well is his faking is excellent. He's just doing a very fine job with the hand fakes. I follow him. I don't see the handoff from up here, so.
You're absolutely right, Coach. 7:31 left to go in the first half. Griesbach, as we said, on the season, you want to take a look at stats. Griesbach, Coach, passing was 1 of 1 for 10 yards. Reynolds was 38 of 71 for 561 yards. But you can do a good job sometimes, but if the team is not moving or scoring a lot of points, sometimes you need a change sometimes. But I'll tell you something, we talked about Reynolds, 2nd team last year, all OCC as a defensive back. He's an outstanding player.
Oh, yeah. Quarterbacks are good football players. You can make defensive backs out of most of them.
Well, you were talking about them a little earlier, and you think back, Reynoldsburg High School, Joe Neiman last year, Larry Thompson. At times, they had 2 different quarterbacks playing in their secondary.
Yeah.
Pfeiffer kicks it off again. It's low, a line driver. It'll bounce it around the 12. Phillips has it. He's across the 20. Reggie Phillips, 25. Phillips up to about the 32-yard line. The Raiders will take over 1st and 10 from there. Reggie Phillips was a man, Coach, who before the season had not played any organized football at all. In fact, had not played any organized sport at all.
I wonder if Reggie Phillips is related to a Phillips who I think was out in this area. I'm not too sure. He was trying out for the Olympics. A great sprinter. Great sprinter.
Of course, there's a Reggie Phillips in the secondary for the Chicago Bears. On that touchdown drive, 14 plays, 4 minutes and 57 seconds were taken off the clock, and Shepard took the ball in. Matheny's pass is incomplete. Little confusion on that play there. He had number 84, Shane Clapham, and he had Brian Frederick in the same area of the field. Coach?
What's that? What the, oh, you wanted me, you were making a comment to me. I didn't even know you were making it. I had my glasses on trying to see what the action was down in the field, and I missed it.
So a 2nd and 10 situation with 7:07 left to go here in the first half. Matheny brings him up to the line of scrimmage. He has twins bottom of the screen. Pitch top of the screen. Travis Perry trying to turn the corner. Cuts it to the bottom of the screen. Perry works his way across the 35 out to the 36. He'll gain about 4 on the play. He'll set up a 3rd and 6 situation for the Raiders.
On a quick pitch like that, you're expecting your lead blocker, who is usually a tackle pulling out the line to lead the play quickly to the outside. There he's expecting a block out there, at least a screen, and he didn't get it, so he had to cut back inside. And there were a host of defenders waiting to meet him.
He made a great adjustment to the ball. Came back, saw the pressure in the pursuit to the outside, and he came back inside. The pitch led him a little bit to the inside, too. As you see, Frederick in motion, top of the screen. Matheny goes back to throw. Pressure is on. He's knocked off balance when he throws. The pass is intercepted on the play by number 12. We talked about him. There he is, Todd Reynolds. Quarterbacks know where those passes are going to go. He played a great safety, just waited for that pass to come down, because when Matheny was knocked back, the ball floated just a little bit longer than he would have liked it to. And on the turnover, the Lions will get the ball back 1st and 10 from the 38.
That's the same old story again. You undershoot the long pass, and it's going to be intercepted. You don't want to overthrow the short one, I'd rather, or underthrow the long one. That happened. It was underthrown, intercepted.
As we said, it's the 40th anniversary of Reynoldsburg High School here tonight. You think back 40 years ago, the first head coach, I can't remember, but I think Frank Howe was one of the first gentlemen out here at Reynoldsburg High School.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Driesbach goes back to throw. He's looking downfield, looking for Turner. Turner's fighting, and he can't come up with the ball. In on coverage for the Raiders, number 7, Larry Thompson.
Thompson had a pretty decent cover on him, although they had a step on him, so that pass could have been completed.
And Driesbach did a very good job of laying that ball up in the air. I'll tell you something, the first game he started, but Driesbach has showed very good touch on the football.
He throws a nice ball.
Doss comes out of the game, number 22, Eric Shepard back into the ball game for Phil Koppel's Lions of Gahanna Lincoln High School. Sean Zimmerman wide to the bottom of the screen. That's Hardy. Hardy works his way all the way up to about the 45-yard line. He'll be about 3 yards short of a first down.
He had a nice pulling guard set as an escort. They did a nice job. The first man got his block. The second man couldn't seem to find anyone to block. But that gain was because of the lead block.
The Lions under Phil Koppel, as we said, his 9th year at the school, was an assistant at Upper Arlington for 4 years. And before this is interesting, he was an assistant at Marlington for 2 years, which is near the Canton area. Driesbach on the option, keeps the ball. Oh, check that in the handoff. A great fake. I see what you're talking about, Coach, because once again, I got faked out of my shoes by Driesbach. The carry takes the ball across midfield down to just about the 47.
Great trap block by Tackett on that. That made that play. Tackett did an excellent job from his tackle spot. Pulled to the outside, took the corner man, kicked him out beautifully.
5:08 left to go here in the first half. Gahanna Lincoln leads Reynoldsburg by a score of 7-0. 1st and 10. That's Hardy in motion. Handoff goes inside. The Lions will advance the ball from the 47 down to just about the 43-yard line. As in on the carry, you see number 22, Eric Shepard.
Bell, Hawthorne, and Gosnell for the Raiders.
45 has been doing a nice job carrying the football. That's who carried the ball on that previous play, by the way, where Tackett had the excellent block.
The Lions come up to the line of scrimmage with a 2nd and 6 awaiting them, and 4:28 left to go in the first half. That's Turner in motion. Shepard takes the handoff, and he slips down at just about the 42-yard line, slides his way to around the 41 before he's hit right there. As we approach the 4-minute mark in tonight's game, left in the first half. Gahanna 5-2 on the season. Started off with wins over Beechcroft 32-12, Westerville North 13-10, Eastmore 13-6, Westerville South 30-6. Then they beat Westland in a game that lasted till very close to 1 in the morning, 17-13 in overtime. That was that night we had the horrible rain. Then they lost to Groveport in the rain again, 13-7, and to UA last week by a score of 13-7. Flags on the play. Driesbach rolls top of the screen across the 40-yard line, and he is brought down just around the 40-yard line. And we'll check out the flags here at the bottom of the field with 3:43 left to go in the first half.
I think we had 2 men in motion again. We have the wing back starting across in motion, and the wing on the other side is taking a step forward before the ball is snapped.
As Jim Cameron gives us the dreaded symbol for a legal shift one more time, they consult with Brad Gosnell of the Reynoldsburg Raiders. The Raiders on the season, 1-6, 0-4 in OCC Ohio action. They beat Whitehall 30-13, the first time they had beaten the Rams since 1978. They lost to Pickerington 34-31 in overtime. Then they lost to St. Charles 27-7, Groveport 25-0, UA 35-7, Grove City 6-0, and Worthington 22-0. So they scored about 61 points in their first 2 games, and they've scored 14 in the last 5 weeks.
I know Coach Koppel's going to be wondering what's going on when he has twice within a couple of series 2 men in motion at the same time, when he sends his wing back in motion and has the wing back toward the side of the motion taking a step forward. Why that guy's in such a rush, I can't tell that.
As the Lions take a timeout, unofficially their first timeout that they have taken here in the first half, Reynoldsburg still has their full complement of 3. A reminder, next week, well, we'll be at Cooper Stadium as the Whetstone Braves take on the Independent 76ers. Quite honestly, it's not going to mean anything towards the City League Blue title, it looks like, but always great competition between those two teams. They really like to slug it out. In Whetstone and Independence, you'll see some great defense. You'll see the 2 Derek Russells, the one that plays on defense for the Whetstone Braves, and of course, Derek Russell, one of the leading rushers and the scorers in the area for the Independent 76ers. You can see that game Friday at 11 p.m., Saturday at 9 p.m., Sunday at 12 noon. It's going to be interesting. We'll see what the crew can do. The pressure will be on. That game probably won't start till about 9 o'clock. It's the second game of a doubleheader Friday night at Cooper Stadium.
I saw a couple of interesting things going on down there. This is a trap offense that the Lions use, and they usually pull guards. They'll also pull a tackle on an inside trap. Now they'll keep the linemen in, double team with linemen on the far away from the ball, and bring the wing back in as a trapper, and he'll kick have the kick-out block on the outside man.
Driesbach looking long, top of the field. The pass is incomplete. We've got a flag on the play. I don't know about that. Let's check that out. Trying to make the catch was number 20, Bill Kakis. Kakis made a great adjustment to the ball. Flag down inside the 20-yard line. Kakis couldn't come up with it. We'll wait for the signal now from Jim Cameron. They call defensive pass interference on the Raiders.
That was pretty close because it looked almost like he was being tackled.
That's where the second look. Let's take a look at this one more time. Let's see if Kakis is making an adjustment to the ball and if he goes over the defender or if he is pushed, perhaps on the play. Well, that could have been a good call. Take a look at it now from ground level one more time as Driesbach goes back to throw. He takes a look and really down camera was in good position, but kind of got there just a little late. Can't tell from that angle. There was contact, though, that we did not see earlier. So they'll mark the ball after the penalty down to the 30-yard line. Let's call it 1st and 10 with 3:25 left to go in the first half. Driesbach has trouble with the snap again, and we've got flags on the play fighting for the ball at around the 30-yard line.
I'm still trying in my mind to see where there was interference by the defender deep. I didn't see it.
A legal motion is the call on Gahanna, and they explain the option once again to Brad Gosnell. As we said, coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at both high school marching bands. We'll also take a look at our Sports Medicine Grant players of the game from last week, and we had an outstanding game last week, and some interesting music edited to the style of play last week as we had Westerville North against Whitehall, and we had 2 great players in Roger Monroe from Westerville North, who I'd like to thank the first time a player of the game has ever written us a letter. Thank you very much, Roger, for your nice note. And you'll also see Steve Zemalong in action for the Whitehall Rams. 2nd and 10, mark the ball at the 30 as the penalty was declined. Turner in motion, the handoff goes inside. Shepard will advance the ball up just about 3, setting up a 3rd and 7. Under 3 minutes left to go first half.
That was an inside trap of the fullback, and it's usually good for 3 or 4 yards. Sometimes it'll break all the way. That was a nice job by the blocking by the guard.
Driesbach brings him up to the line of scrimmage. That's Bill Kakis going out wide top of the screen. Impressive first half by Driesbach, and just the first game he started for the Lincoln Lions. Goes back to throw. He looks. He lofts the ball downfield. He was trying to hit his tight end, Sanders. A nice play, a nice route, just overthrown by about 2 yards.
He had Sanders out there, and Kakis was crying for the football. He wondered, I guess, why it fell so short when the ball was being thrown to Sanders. He thought it was coming to him.
Sanders did a good job, though, of running that route, breaking it down towards the goal line, and he had single coverage from the linebacker in that area, and that was Gary Young. That's going to set up a 4th and 7 situation now with the ball at the 27. Similar situation. Remember what happened last time. The ball was almost at the exact same yard line. They gave it to Shepard up the gut. He rambled 27 yards for the touchdown. This time, Driesbach rolls top of the screen and looks downfield. The pass is complete to Sanders. That play was open last time. They went to it this time. Sanders has the ball inside the 10. 1st and goal for the Gahanna Lincoln Lions.
It was open again, and Mr. Driesbach had time to throw the football. When you get that kind of time, usually it's going to be a reception.
As we take a look at it one more time, once again, a little problem with the snap. Perfect pass, great adjustment by Sanders.
Oh, yes.
Sanders makes a good catch. Sanders was a defensive end his freshman year, a split end last year, and now he's a tight end his junior year. 1st and goal. They mark the ball at the 8-yard line. Make it bootleg. Check that top of the screen. The handoff goes for the Lions to just about the 6-yard line. It's going to set up a 2nd and goal situation from the 6.
See how tough Driesbach makes it to find the football?
He is
Every
good.
time he comes out of there, I think he has the football.
He got me that time. That's the 2nd time, and I think I've only been gotten a couple times so far this season. As you can see, Hardy on the carry. I'll tell you what he does. Most quarterbacks, after they make that handoff, they don't keep their hands down to their side at a distance like they're holding a ball. But Driesbach does a good job of doing that. 2nd and goal now for the Lions. Looking downfield. The pass is it complete? Incomplete, they said. Thompson in on the coverage. Once again, he was looking for his big tight end, John Sanders.
That would have been complete, but Larry Thompson did an excellent job of defense on that football because the ball was there, I thought, and the receiver was there. He just knocked him loose from it a little.
Take a look at this one more time, Coach.
Yeah, here you see the ball thrown, and again, that young guy did an excellent job when the receiver covers him tightly. Thompson just does an excellent job. He's been doing that the whole ball game.
Almost like Thompson's been giving him a lead step, but he comes in there with his hands.
He's
Sanders
tight.
Had his hand on the ball, but could not quite hold on to it. 90 seconds left to go. I'll tell you one thing. Driesbach has got me using the glasses now on every play.
I'm using the glasses, and I still can't pick it up.
With 1:29 left to go, I tell you, Coach, it's been a wild sports week watching all that baseball the last week. I've been suffering from Keith Jackson syndrome, though, at home. I've been saying things like, oh, well, sir, it's all over. It's all she wrote and then some, and those type of things. But enjoyed baseball this past week. We hope you enjoy high school sports. I tell you, it is a little nippy here at Reynoldsburg. It's even colder on the field for the Raiders right now, but the fans on both sides of the field came well prepared. In fact, they're better prepared than Coach and I. I couldn't find my gloves tonight, so I grabbed a pair of socks. So I could be the strangest looking mutant probably on the field when we do the close tonight at around 10:30.
But I feel warm. I feel warm. I really have warmed up to it. I don't feel cold at all.
Well, you're hot-blooded.
I wasn't down on the field, I'll tell you.
3rd and goal. Mark the ball at just about the 6-yard line. Driesbach hands off inside, goes to number 14, Tracy Doss. He gets the ball down to just about the 3-yard line. Now they are in field goal range. They have the option right now of pinning the Raiders back to the goal line. If they want to try for it on 4th down, or if they want to kick the field goal, you're talking about the effort, the equivalent of only an extra point.
Oh, yeah. That was a nice block by the center. The inside of the Gahanna line's doing an excellent job blocking now. They're really moving the football. That's no mistake. They're moving people.
And this time, Bourne is on to attempt the field goal. It will be a 20-yarder. Good snap. The kick is up, and from 20 yards away, the kick is good. And with 50 seconds left to go here in the first half, the Lions take a 10-0 lead.
The thing that's strange about this is that Gahanna started off very slowly offensively. The entire first quarter they spent apparently trying to get the feel of the game. Once they've gotten it, they're looking very sharp. They're moving the ball well. The backs are moving well. There's a nice relationship between the quarterback and the backs that are receiving the handoffs and faking. So they're looking like a sharp offensive football team right now.
The other thing that I think has been a key in tonight's game is the fact that the Lions have shuttled in about 5 running backs in there. It's hard to key on one particular person. You're thinking about Turner. You're thinking about somebody else in the backfield. Perhaps you're even thinking about, you could say Doss, you could say Hardy, and then all of a sudden, bam, Shepard carries the ball first time, takes it 27 yards for a touchdown. 10-0 now with 50 seconds left to go. And now Pfeiffer will kick off with the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. Phillips and Perry back deep at the Raider 10. Temperature tonight expected to dip into the mid-30s, but the fans here are ready. The weather is hot in this press box, though. Heaters in here, and things are going well. A short kick hit one of the Raider up men, and the Raiders now with a bit of a break. They'll get the ball at the 45-yard line with 49 seconds left to go, and unofficially, Coach, they still have their full complement of 3 timeouts.
Yeah, well, they may need them, and this is the best field position by far that they've had. They've been back in there with their backs to the ball all evening.
Of course, Rob Sass likes to put the ball up in the air. Last year he had that great passing combination of Neiman to Urbanik. 1st and 10 from the 45. Matheny goes back to throw. The pass upfield. The pass is in and out of the hands of Larry Thompson down at the Lion 40.
Yeah, Larry should have had that football. Was put right on the numbers. It was a nicely thrown ball. He had time to throw it. It was good blocking in the line. Anytime you do that, now he gets a chance to set up, and he throws the ball very nicely, a little bit, just a hair behind him, but that ball should have been caught. The defender was tight on him. That helped them to lose it.
Kink is in on the coverage, Coach, but there was a flag down. Roughing the passer is the call. March the ball 15 yards down to that 40-yard line. So the Raiders will wind up getting the ball right at that spot anyway. 1st and 10 from the 40. 30 seconds left to go. Unofficially, as we said, the Raiders still have their full complement of 3 timeouts.
So that had to be a late contact because even though I didn't have my glasses on him, he was set up, had released the ball, was still standing there when I removed my glasses.
Perry in the slot, bottom of the screen. Phillips out wide, bottom of the screen. The pass is incomplete, looking for number 21 on the play. That is Patrick Bryant. That'll set up a 2nd and 10, and more importantly, 27 seconds left in the first half.
Now we're going to see here on the replay that the ball is thrown by Matheny right to his hands. That's the worst place you want to hit him, right in the hands. It was a beautiful pass, beautiful pass.
That'll set up a 2nd and 10 situation with the ball at the 40-yard line. Matheny goes back again. Pressure on this time from the backside, and the pass is nearly intercepted. Pressure on that play came in the person of number 72, Todd Matthews.
Yeah, he was smothered that time. I was surprised he got the ball away.
But Matheny, once again, in the mold of Reynoldsburg quarterbacks that we've seen the last few years, pretty good size at 6'1" and 170. Of course, hard to compare anyone after Joe Neiman, who goes 6'5" and about 200 pounds.
Yeah.
3rd and 10, more importantly, 23 seconds left to go here in the first half. Matheny again goes back to throw. The pass downfield is over the outstretched arms of Larry Thompson. That's going to set up a 4th and 10 situation now with 19 seconds left to go.
Well, I think we're going to see them put it in the air again. What do they have to lose? Only 19 seconds left. As long as he can keep it out of the hands of a defender that has a free shot down the sidelines, the goal line, he'll be all right.
In 3 previous weeks, Coach, we saw teams run the old hook and ladder off of something like this. Let's see what happens. Matheny goes back one more time to throw. Pressure is on. Defenders slide down, still looking downfield. The pass is complete. It'll go to Patrick Bryant, but he'll be about 3 yards short of a first down. So with 14 seconds left to go, the Lions will get the ball back and probably eat it for the remainder of the first half.
That may help them because even though it was only a 7-yard pass, it may help them because they need a completion or 2 to give that guy a little bit of confidence. He's throwing the ball well. I think they dropped about 4 or 5 of his passes. So he's not as bad a thrower as he appears to be by his completion rate.
Remember, as soon as there's a change of possession, the clock does start. We're down to 2, we're down to 1, and that's the end of the first half. Gahanna comes up with 10 points to take a 10-0 lead here at halftime. And let's take a look now at our Sports Medicine Grant players of the game from last week.
I'm Dr. Ray Tessner, Medical Director of Sports Medicine Grant. Just like football, sports medicine is a team concept. We realize that when one of us achieves success, it's a reflection of the hard work of the entire team. With this in mind, I'm pleased to present the winners of last week's Sports Medicine Grand Players of the Game. Congratulations to these two young men and to their entire team.
Congratulations once again to our Sports Medicine Grand Players of the Game. We're at halftime. Gahanna Lincoln leading by a score of 10-0. Their band on the field right now, entertaining us with a number called Cherokee. Let's take a listen. The Gahanna Lincoln High School Marching Band under the direction of Jeff Shellhammer in his second year at the school. The assistant band directors are Diane Ballard and Eric Aho. The drum major is Brad Hannon. 145 musicians, 170 in total out there on the field. Now here's Jazzin', an original tune in the swing style featuring the Flag Corps. The Gahanna Lincoln High School Marching Band, and now for their final number tonight, they'll perform I Can't Stop Loving You. A trumpet solo is featured in this by Brad Sunderland, and he'll be joined to form a trumpet duet by Jason Darren. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the Gahanna Lincoln High School Marching Band, the Golden Lions Marching Band. The Gahanna Lincoln High School marching band under Jeff Shellhammer in his second year. Jeff Shellhammer in his second year. I tell you, an outstanding halftime show. Upcoming events for the band: a cheese and sausage sale is currently underway and will continue until October 23rd. And there will be a marching band Pops concert coming up Thursday, November 6th at 7:30 p.m. in the high school gym. I tell you, Jeff Shellhammer, I'd like to thank him very much for all his information. A fine program he's got there at Gahanna Lincoln High School. Once again, thanks to the assistant band directors Diane Ballard and Eric Aho, the drum major Brad Hannon, and the flag corps is advised by Diane Ballard. The captains are Jill Kessler, Erica Baumgardner, and Kristen Pryor. Coming up next, we have the Reynoldsburg High School marching band under Don Nathan in his first year at the high school. The field conductors are Mindy Wired and David Baker. There are 92 musicians, 115 in all on the field. The flag corps advisor is Carol Corbin. The captain is Lisa Weissenberger. And now they're going to talk about homecoming right now. The Queen candidates are coming out onto the field then too. They'll come down to the 40 to 45 yard line on the left side of the field here. The candidates are Tammy Davis, Heidi Gellner, Jody Sells, Charlotte Stevens, Lisa Weisenberger, who we mentioned, Krista Norris, who's a junior, and Christy Beals, who is a sophomore. The band will be performing the Queen song as the Queen contestants move out onto the field, as we said. So we'll pick up the PA announcement right now.
Welcome once again our 1986 homecoming court. Christy Beals, sophomore attendant, is escorted by David Hobson. Christy is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Stephen Beals of Lexdale Drive. She is a member of the RHS track and cross-country teams and plans to attend college to study medicine or business. Her hobbies are water skiing, swimming, and running. David is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Jeffrey Hobson of Charlotte Drive. Our junior attendant is Krista Norris, the daughter of Daryl and Janet Norris of Creekside Place. Krista is the cheerleader, president of FCA, and a list participant. Her hobbies are swimming, gymnastics, dancing, and football. She plans to attend Green University and enter the field of counseling. Her escort is John Grimm, the son of John and Sharon Grimm of Kingsley Drive. Our senior Queen candidates are Tammy Renee Davis, the daughter of John Davis of Renton Road. Tammy plans to attend CTI in the fall and be a legal secretary. She likes to ride horseback, shop, railroading, and water skiing, and most of all, collect frogs. Tammy is enrolled in cooperative hospital education and is vice president of her class. She is escorted by Shane Knisley, the son of Mr.
Once again, they are announcing the Queen candidates for 1986. We apologize for the slight buzz you might be hearing right now. The candidates, once again, are Tammy Davis, Heidi Gellner, and Jody Sells, along with Charlotte Stevens, Lisa Weisenberger, a junior, Krista Norris, and sophomore Christy Beals are being introduced right now. They're all making their way out to about the 45-yard line on the cement there along the near side. And in just moments, they will announce the homecoming queen for 1986 here at Reynoldsburg High School. We're at halftime as Gahanna leads Reynoldsburg by a score of 10-0. We'll pick up the PA once again. As you take a look now at the homecoming court, coming up in just a moment, we'll announce the winner, the Queen for 1986. And I tell you, whoever wins, there's an outstanding looking court down there on the field. All these young ladies should be proud.
The 1985 Queen, Leslie Butler, will crown the 1986 Queen.
And the 1985 Queen will crown the 1986 Queen.
1986 Queen is Heidi Gellner.
And the Queen for 1986 here at Reynoldsburg High School is Heidi Gellner. The crown passing from 85 to 86. Congratulations to Heidi Gellner. She's given a dozen of roses right now, along with a football commemorative of tonight's homecoming game. And as they set up here, and that is all. So congratulations to Heidi Gellner and to Tammy Davis, Jody Sells, Charlotte Stevens, Lisa Weisenberger, Krista Norris, and Christy Beals. Halftime here at Reynoldsburg High School. Coming up next, the band is going to perform Hello by Lionel Richie, along with the Alumni Band, directed by recently retired RHS band director Dan Naraki. 27 years as a band director here. Last year they had 180 for their alumni band. As we said, it was Dan's last year here at the high school last year. And in fact, in this song tonight, Mr. Naraki is going to be performing a trumpet solo in Hello. So we'll sit back, relax, and listen now as the Reynoldsburg High School Alumni Band makes their way out on the field. Not quite 180 this year, but I tell you, another excellent turnout, and they are all dressed for the weather tonight with their coats on and everything. A fine representation, too, of woodwinds and brass and percussion out there. And in just a moment, we'll pick up Hello, but right now, I think you'll recognize this song. Take a look and listen to the Reynoldsburg High School Alumni Band. As we said, the field conductors for the band are Mindy Wired and David Baker. The flag corps advisor is Carol Corbin, and the captain is Lisa Weisenberger. The Reynoldsburg High School Marching Band and the Alumni Band. The director is Don Nathan in his first year. Congratulations, too, to Dan Naraki for an outstanding job on that trumpet solo there. The band is going to come off the field now to Rocky, Hang On Sloopy, and the Raider Fight song. Time does not permit us to hear everything, but I'll remind you of some of the events coming up. Band-Aid Day is coming up Saturday, November 1st. Band members are going around the community and asking for donations, and they'll give the community people a bumper sticker. And the pep band will be playing at a local supermarket. Then there's Community Appreciation Concert Day coming up Sunday, November 9th at 3 p.m. at Reynoldsburg High School. And then the Ohio State University Concert Band will perform on Wednesday, November 5th at 7:30 p.m. in the gym. It's free. Let's pick up one more song here from the high school band. Reynoldsburg High School Marching Band and the Alumni Band. Once again, Band Aid Day Saturday, November 1st. Community Appreciation Day Sunday, November 9th at 3 p.m. at RHS. And the Ohio State University Concert Band will perform on Wednesday, November 5th at 7:30 p.m. in the gym, and it's free. We're at halftime. Gahanna Lincoln leads Reynoldsburg by a score of 10-0. We'll be back with the second half in just a moment.
What's crazy and campy and captivating?
You right.
It's HBO's Knockout Fall, and October's the month to be there for knockout drama in Jagged Edge, Agnes of God, Eleni, and the HBO picture Florida Straits, for Bowl You Over comedy in Teen Wolf and Maxie, for Knock 'em Dead concerts, rib-tickling comics,
And what?
Anthem really weird tales. So call your local cable company today for a season you won't want to miss. HBO's Knockout Fall.
Welcome back to Reynoldsburg High School. Just about ready for the start of the second half. Gahanna Lincoln leading by a score of 10-0. Let's take a look at those first half stats if we can. In the first half, Gahanna had 4 first downs to 1 for Reynoldsburg. Gahanna, as you can see, 77 yards on the ground, 15 for Reynoldsburg. Total yards, 116 to 21. No turnovers. You see the penalties in the first half. Difference of 10 plays. Coach, any surprises in that first half?
Well, I was surprised that it started off as slowly as it did offensively, but they got into the thing. They got into the heat of things, and it turned out to be a pretty exciting football game the second quarter.
On the 40 to the 43-yard line, I believe the Raiders might have been penalized for delay of game due to the length of that halftime, and Gahanna Lincoln will take over 1st and 10 from there. Let's take a look at the Lions offense. Split end, you see number 20, Bill Kakis. Across the front, it's Steinhauser, Frazier, Thomas, Tackett, Matthews. The tight end, 88, John Sanders. Bill Driesbach in his first start at quarterback. In the backfield, most of the time you'll see Bourne, along with Turner, Hardy. You can see Dawson there, and of course Shepard, who scored the touchdown. 1st and 10 from the 43. That's Bourne inside, worked his way up across the 45 to about the 47 as we take a look at that defense of the Raiders, a 5-2 most of the evening. Up front, it's Bell, Hauser, Hawthorne, Moore, and Freeman. The linebackers are Gosnell and Young. Matt Brown, he was the mystery number 25 we were talking about in the first half. We were told he'd be wearing 28. He's wearing 25 instead. Back there with Harrison, Thompson, and Gassaway. A gain of 4 on the play. Let's make it 2nd and 6. Mark the ball at the line, 47-yard line. Handoff goes to Shepard. Shepard works his way up to about midfield, and he's going to be about 3 yards short of a first down as we're under 11 minutes left to go here in the third period.
Came off a block by Mark Hardy. He had a nice kick-out block on that from his halfback spot. Did a nice job.
They marked the ball at the Lion 49-yard line, so let's call it 3rd and 4. Scoring in the game, 7:31 left to go in the second period. Shepard took it in from 27 yards out. The PAT made it 7-0, and with 50 seconds left to go in the first half, Bourne kicked a 21-yard field goal, and that's where we stand right now. Here goes Shepard again. Shepard is close to a first down. Looks like he could be a little short. Good stick on that play made by number 35, Gary Young.
60 had a nice block on that play. He's a good blocking.
As you take a look,
see his number here, number 60. Do you have 60?
At the Gahanna huddle right now, Coach, I don't have a number 60 right now, but don't be surprised. I think that is probably Don Davis, who is a sophomore guard who had the possibility of seeing some time in tonight's game. Gahanna's such a young team on offense. They start 8 juniors and but 3 seniors, so 5-2 on the season. You know, it is a big game for Gahanna. They've got to win and get that momentum back, go to 6-2 on the season. From a computer ranking standpoint, they don't gain that much. It's next week when they take on Worthington.
Yeah, oh yeah. They can pick up a lot in that ball game.
And for a lot of teams this season, of course, it adds up as it goes along. The last 3 weeks of the season so pivotal for every team fighting for playoff berths. And a little later on tonight, we'll take a look at the computer ratings before we head it into action tonight. 4th and less than 1. Mark the ball at the Raider 48-yard line. Driesbach up under center. He gives it to Bourne. And Bourne's across the 45 all the way down to the 43. More than enough for a Lion first down.
That's pretty nice running from Mr. Bourne. Excellent job. Kept his balance, made a few more yards after being hit.
Excellent job, too, by the right side of that Lion offensive line. I tell you, Thomas, Tackett, Matthews, and Sanders have done an excellent job all night as we have a player down on the field right now for the Lions. As you take a look at this action one more time, Bourne is really not stopped until he hits the 45, dives forward to the 43. He only needed about half a yard. as we have a Raider down on the field right now with about 10:06 left to go here in the third period. A reminder, we'd like to hear from you. If you enjoy high school sports, drop us a line. Every week brings new excitement and new nightmares, but we do the very best that we can. No matter what cable area you live in, drop us a line to Sports Director, Coaxial Communications, 3770 East Livingston Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, 43227. A question, a comment, if you'd like to see high school basketball, drop us a line. We'll do the very best that we can. We thanked Roger Monroe for his nice letter. We'd like to thank the Matevskis for writing us a little note from Whitehall, the Hartzels, Tom Dorman, who's the athletic director at Groveport High School, the entire coaching staff, and I do mean the entire coaching staff from Eastmore High School for their very nice notes. Thank you very much. Headed up by Brian Cross, the head coach. Nice note from Gene Schaefer. Thank you. From the Garvey family. From Mark Princehorn, who sat up in the press box near us last week, Coach. He said, congratulations. Hope you can stay warm and dry the rest of the season. 1 out of 2, at least we're dry tonight. Thanks to Bernie Llewellyn for a very nice note. Thanks to John Sheldon, who wrote a letter from the Central Ohio Football Officials Association, and he said, please consider this as 244 letters from the COFOA. Thank you very much. Also, thank you from a beautiful letter from Ann Wolfren, and the Q did it again. They had everybody over, it looks like, and I'd say there's about 35 signatures, including the McKenzies, Terry Pusateri, the Joneses, the Staub family, Wengers, and many, many others. Thank you very much. As you see, Norris Freeman, number 37, being led off the field. The Lars, thank you for your nice note, too. So many people wrote in and had some very positive things to say, and quite honestly, we don't hear about high school sports, and we don't get any feedback at all unless we hear from you. So thank you very much for dropping us a line. Also, thanks to the Copeland family from Pickerington. 1st and 10. Lions have the ball at the Raider 43-yard line. I've noticed one thing. Now that it's cold, it's hard to get those teeth to move and not to chatter instead. Driesbach up under center. The backs are split. The handoff is kept this time by Driesbach. He's been setting that up all night, and he's all the way down to just about the 31-yard line. In on the stop for the Raiders, number 35, Gary Young.
But again, they do an excellent job.
Each class, Coach, made a float here at Reynoldsburg High School, and you can see the Pirate there, and actually that is the Raider there. He's picking up his sword, and you can see the floats right there. I tell you, a lot of preparation went into this. It's the 40th anniversary of Reynoldsburg High School. A little later on tonight, I'll read you a press release from the 1946 team. Big hole up the middle for Shepard. Shepard's down all the way about to the 21-yard line. He's very close to another Lion first down.
That's your fullback trap, and again, that can go all the way. Very often it does. That's a nice play. Run it beautifully.
A gain of 9 on the play. Let's call it 2nd and 1 with 9.5 left to go in the third period of tonight's game. Gahanna, as we said, 5-2 on the season, looking to go 6-2 and ready for that big matchup next week against Worthington. Hardy across the 20, and Hardy is going to be very close to another Lion first down. Brad Gosnell in on the stop.
The thing that made that play, Randy, was the play that preceded it. The fullback trap set that up. They dove the fullback in, and the halfback coming off the fullback fake made the play. It's nice blocking at the hole. Pretty good pickup.
And that is enough for a first down. Birthdays, well, Matt Brown turned 17 earlier this month for Reynoldsburg, and Gosnell, we've been talking about Brad Gosnell, turns 18 at the end of the month. We'll go over the Lions' birthdays a little later on in tonight's game. 1st and 10, mark the ball at the 20. Driesbach up under center. Handoff goes to Bourne. Bourne gets it down to about the 16. Twist fights his way all the way down to just about the 15-yard line. Very impressed by the play of Ed Bourne. 6'2", 207, and one of those juniors that I was talking about, the junior leaders, actually, for the Gahanna Lincoln Lions.
I'm impressed by the entire backfield of the Lions. They're doing an excellent job. The lead blocker, he can't kick it out, so he turns it in. Nice job.
The entire interior of that line is juniors. Driesbach takes it around the corner, tries to get down to the 10-yard line, evades one tackle, but he's caught in the arms of number 82 on the far side of the field. Check that, that's 92. That is Chris Bell. So Bell makes the stop. They mark Driesbach down at just about the 10-yard line, very close to another Lion first down.
He's a quick young man, isn't he?
Very quick.
He can step on the corner.
And a couple snaps from center, you can't tell what the problem was, but very effective. He looks like a great leader out there on the field. It's Bourne, and Bourne on a 3rd and short situation advances the ball across the 10-yard line down to about the 7, and he has enough for a Lion first down. You would think early in the second half, Coach, with about 7:51 left to go, the Lions score one more touchdown. The Raiders are going to have to forget about the run for the rest of the evening and just put that ball up in the air.
Well, I think they were coming to that late in the first half. They started to throw on practically every down. They got to get on the scoreboard.
First and goal. Mark the ball at the 7-yard line. Handoff goes inside to number 14. That is Tracy Doss. Doss, the 5'7", 180-pound junior, advances the ball to down around the 5-yard line. He'll gain maybe about 2 on the play. Call it second and goal from the 5.
Yeah, that was the fullback trap again down there, too. They may have straight blocked it. I didn't catch the pull on it.
Balanced scoring for the Lions, too. We'll go over that in just a second. Second and goal. Mark the ball at the 5. 7:10 left to go, third period. Handoff inside. Lions will advance the ball down to the 3. The scoring, Reynoldsburg Reynolds 4 touchdowns on the season. Kakis had 4. Hardy had 2. Hoffaker had 2 before he was injured. Shepard now has 3 touchdowns. Backus has 2 touchdowns. And Reese has scored a touchdown. As you take a look at that previous play, the handoff goes inside, as you can see, to Tracy Doss, who advanced it to the 2-yard line. Let's call it third and goal from the 2. Dawes takes the handoff again, very close to the goal line, setting up a 4th and goal situation. Almost looked like we might have had motion that time, but with 6:28 left to go, an interesting decision awaiting the Lions right now, as they'll have a 4th and goal situation as they insert the pile. Take a look, not much of a hole there. Great pursuit from the outside. Gosnell came in, and he was in the backfield on the stop.
He kissed him. He's doing an excellent job. He's been in there so many times.
I haven't used the old kiss line yet tonight, have I? 4th and goal. Mark the ball just exactly at the 1-yard line. Driesbach tries to turn the corner. His knee touches down at the 1-yard line. He did not cross the plane of the goal line. We'll wait for the officials to sort out this situation. His knee was down at the 1, and they say he is in. They give it a touchdown with 5:51 left to go. Perhaps a fumble recovery. We'll take a look. Ground level, you'll take a look at this in just a second with 5:51 left to go. Driesbach now will keep it. Bottom of the screen, turn the corner. On contact, his knee could have been down. I don't know, hard to tell from that angle still. And so with 5:51 left to go, Gahanna now moves out to a 16-0 lead, and the Raiders take a timeout.
I couldn't tell from the angle either, Randy. I thought that he might have been in. He lunged, and maybe he lunged too early. We'd have to see almost down the line on that. The angle's just too bad otherwise.
Now, Rob Sass has taken the first time out here in the second half for the Raiders. Interesting, I wonder if he's going to go out and talk to the officials or not, or try to get some clarification. That is exactly what he's trying to do right now. He's talking to Jim Cameron right now. I think he's trying to find out on that play what exactly happened. Was it a fumble recovery, or did he cross the plane of the goal line?
If he crossed the plane, it can't be a fumble. Wow.
It's very close. We're looking at it from a diagonal, too.
Yeah, but from there, I thought I saw the stripe, and I'm not too sure he made it in. I think that could have been a fumble.
Nevertheless, the play will stand. The Lions will attempt their 17th point. Bourne in to try it now. 2 of 4 in field goal attempts. Somebody asked me about the AP versus the UPI poll. I got access to the UPI poll this week, and we'll take a look at that. With 5:51 left, it is now a 17-0 lead. We'll start first of all with AAA. In the area, Worthington in the AP poll is 9th, and that's it. Now in the UPI poll, Worthington is ranked 5th in the state, and Groveport and Westerville North are tied for 18th. If you're wondering about the top 5 in AP as opposed to UPI, in AP it's Canton-McKinley, North Canton-Hoover, Centerville, Cleveland Benedictine, and Cincinnati Purcell Marion. In UPI AAA, it's Canton-McKinley, Centerville, North Canton-Hoover, Toledo Whitmer, and Worthington. Whitmer is ranked 6th in the AP poll, so not a whole lot of difference there. We'll go over AA and single A in just a second. Pfeiffer ready to kick it off now. Phillips and Perry back deep at the Raider 10-yard line. Some people think it's a touchdown up here, some don't. Nevertheless, it's 17-0, a high driving kick. Perry will take it at the 4-yard line. Works his way now to the 20. He's up to the 25. Perry's got a hole. He can go all the way. Perry now across midfield. Nothing to stop him. 40, Perry, 30, 25, 20. Travis Perry, 96 yards and a touchdown.
That's a haul, isn't it? 96 yards. That's a long one.
And for those people up here that might have thought that previous play wasn't a touchdown, a lot of people talk about payback time. There you go right there.
Yeah, that was a nice run, wasn't it? Of course, he had the hole. Beautiful hole.
two speedy gentlemen on kick returns for the Raiders. If they can break it at the first seam, a lot of time that speed will carry them all the way. Watch this. Right there, when Perry gets through at about the 30-yard line, he's got about 65, 70 yards actually just to turn it on and just look and make sure there's no one over his left shoulder. As Lenny Schmidt now is in to attempt the 7th point for Reynoldsburg. The snap, the kick is up, and Schmidt has not missed an extra point attempt this year. He's 2 out of 3 in field goals. Lenny Schmidt, an interesting story too. He's the leading scorer in soccer history here for Dave Freud and his Reynoldsburg soccer team. He has scored over 100 goals in his career playing soccer. Take a look at it one more time. As I said, once he got to the 30-yard line, it's just a foot race. The only man near him really was Mark Hardy, and he beats him. And there you see coming in late, that looks like number 20. That is Bill Kakis who came in. But Travis Perry takes it 96 yards, brings the crowd back to life, and it's 17-7.
That's a great hole. Great screen blocking. They have to block high. You know, they can't. They've got to be careful about their blocks because most of those things are brought back because they're blocking below the waist. Everyone was high, had my glasses on it.
Coach, you might want to pick up the extra microphone here. Why don't we put this one on you? I think your mute button has a tendency to mute you out there. You pick up that extra headset here, put that on, and I know what you were saying. You're trying to say that they really had to watch their block, correct, Coach?
They have to keep above the waist on their downfield blocks on the kickoff. Most of the kicks are brought back because someone hits below the waist. They were high. I had my glasses right on it. It was a beautiful hole. They did an excellent job on that return.
So Perry takes it 96 yards, makes it 17-7, and guess what? For the first time in 5 weeks, both teams have scored in the same game that we've done. I'm having hot chocolate after the game, I tell you. With the weather, though, it's been an interesting situation. You know, I talked to a lot of coaches the last 4 or 5 weeks, and they have said that this is the year of the linebacker, something that we were talking about, and the year of the defense. And quite honestly, a lot of coaches have said, hey, if we can score a touchdown and get that extra point, we feel we can win that ball game.
Yeah, it's been tight all the way. You look at the scores every week. It's the same thing. You don't see any big routes.
Well, 2 of our shutouts, Coach, were by the score of 6-0. Cochran kicks it off, high but short. Hardy has his turn now at the 17, across the 20. Hardy 25. Hardy is spun around. Is he down? No, he's still alive, and he's brought down at the 25-yard line. But we have a flag upfield, Coach, at around the 43.
He should have stayed where he was because he lost about 3 yards bringing it back again.
We'll wait for Jim Cameron to inform us of this penalty as the ball is marked down at just around the 26-yard line,
Do you know when Hardy's in the ball game most of the way? I've had my glasses on him. He's the blocking back. He weighs 145 pounds. He's getting a lot of those kickoff blocks for Bourne and for Shepard.
Take a look at this one more time. Now, how does he stay alive? Oh, they grab him by the jersey, spins around. He does not give up, and then he's tackled by his right arm after all that. Mark Hardy, I'll tell you, a great runner, though. As you would expect to see in a situation on a kickoff like that, it is a penalty on the receiving team. A clip has been called. It marks the ball all the way back to the 13-yard line, and, Coach, potentially a big swing in the momentum here in the third period.
Yeah, could be.
1st and 10, mark the ball at the 13. Big hole up the middle. I tell you, every time the Lions have needed a big play, it seems like Eric Shepard has been there.
He's a good back. Of course, Ed Bourne, they've got good backs. I haven't seen a bad back in that backfield. Of course, I haven't seen too many in the other backfield either.
Excellent balance that we were talking about, and you can see inside. Great moves, too.
Yeah.
Great move. You were talking about a quick second step last week, and that's something I also think that Eric Shepard has.
Mm-hmm.
He moves the ball all the way out to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Lions from right there. Drew's back up to the line of scrimmage. Hardy is in motion. Handoff goes inside. Now Shepard will pick up 6 on the play.
If you noticed Hardy then, he had the block on the end defender on the line, and he didn't have to move him 20 yards. All he had to do was get his body between him and the ball carrier, and he does it every down. You watch him. He's pretty good at it. He knows what he's doing.
Smaller guy, but if you've got that momentum, it sure helps, doesn't it?
But they work on that.
You know, we were touching on something again I want to mention. Remember, this interior line for the Lions, all juniors. Steinhauser, Frazier, Thomas, Tackett, Matthews, and even the tight end, John Sanders, all juniors. They'll be back next year. 2nd and 4. That's Hardy, top of the screen. Hardy across the 40. Hardy's up to the 43-yard line. He'll have enough for a Lion first down.
They time everything beautifully. Everybody's in the right spot at the right time. The backfield works very well together. It's been very notable tonight. as much as I've seen it any time this season, that backfield works together beautifully, and they're using 2 sets except the quarterback.
And critiquing the play calling, I think an excellent job, too, by Phil Koppel and his staff, too.
Yeah.
It's really got the Raider defense a little off stride. They don't know what to expect. 2 good long passes to Sanders downfield. We've seen Kakis open, but good running by all the backs, all 5 of them in there for the Lions. Handoff goes inside. This time, Shepard is stopped by the interior of the Raider defensive line. That 5-2 was fired up that time. In on the stop, among others, number 92, Chris Bell.
The nice thing about having the wing T as your basic offense, Randy, is that you can run the I as an alternate offensive system and make very few adjustments. It requires very few adjustments. You can run all of the plays you run out of the wing T practically from the I.
A gain of 1. Let's call it 2nd and 9. Mark the ball at the 44-yard line. Driesbach goes back to throw. The pass is tipped. He was looking downfield for his tight end, John Sanders.
Yeah, it was tipped. There was a defender. He almost led the defender beautifully. That guy kept going. He'd had a hard time from scoring a touchdown for Gahanna because he was heading that way.
Oh, thank you, Tim McCarver. A 3rd and 9 situation now with 3:12 left to go in the 3rd period. Randy Reinhardt and Jim Anderson from a very cool Reynoldsburg High School tonight, but I tell you, a great crowd on both sides. It's homecoming and the 40th anniversary of the high school. Driesbach brings him up to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 9. He's looking. The pass is caught. Kakis, 25. Kakis, 20. 15. 10. Kakis, 5-yard line. What a play by number 20, Bill Kakis.
Now I see why the Gahanna fans, a lot of them think that Kakis is their best football player. He plays a nice defense on the corner, and boy, he did an excellent job on that pass play. The defender had as much right to the football as he did, but he wouldn't give it up.
Look at this. Thompson lost out to Kakis. Kakis, watch this move right here, picks up an additional 10 yards before he's brought down by Young at the 5-yard line.
Now Thompson did a nice
goal.
job.
Mark the ball at the 5-yard line. As you see it one more time, we come back to live action. The handoff goes inside to Hardy, and Hardy is stopped after a very short gain. It'll be 2nd and goal with about 2:35 left to go in the 3rd period. Boy, every time you think the momentum is going to shift here in the 3rd period, something happens to move it back the other way.
Yep. Well, they moved the ball beautifully. They have since the beginning of the 2nd quarter. They got it together, and they were slow starting, but it's been a real grinding machine since then.
Go back to the play selection once again. I think the defense is really off stride just a little bit for the Raiders because an excellent job of calling plays by Gahanna. The handoff goes inside, and the Lions will advance it up the middle and be very close to a goal line. It looks like it's going to be about a 3rd and 2 situation. We're down to 2 minutes left to go in the 3rd period. Coach, are we talking right now very close to the point where another touchdown in that 17-point lead again near the end of the 3rd quarter could be too much to make up for the Raiders?
Well, their offense hasn't moved that well yet, Randy, so you'd have to guess that it would be, surely.
3rd and goal. Mark the ball just inside the 2. Handoff goes to Bourne. He's fighting his way. Is he in? No. 4th down. 90 seconds left to go, 3rd period.
On both plays, Bourne has run behind Doss, the fullback, and he clears a path. Let me tell you, that's like a Sherman tank going through their head of the football. Does an excellent job. He ends up in the end zone, and Bourne right in close behind him.
Mark the ball just inside the 1-yard line. Big play for both teams. 4th and goal inside the 1. 1:10 left to go, 3rd period. Bourne, touchdown. 1:05 left to go. Gahanna Lincoln moves out to a 23-7 lead.
You know, they're a powerful offensive football team. I'm surprised that they haven't scored a lot of points all season in every one of their ball games because their line is strong. They're strong kids. I mean, they must be on the weights. I just saw Frazier take his defender into the end zone.
As you take a look at it one more time, touchdown with 1:05 left to go. Now Bourne on to attempt the 24th point. Sometimes, Coach, just a little shakeup. I'm sure you could tell in 35 years, a couple of experiences you had where one change here or something there that you changed, maybe a player or just in play calling or something, even what you did during the week could change the team around.
Yeah, because at Reynoldsburg's 1-6, but they haven't been easy to score on. Look at the scores. They haven't been slaughtered down the line, and they've scored quite a few points. You know, in the first 2 ball games, 61 points. The rest of the way, they've had some difficulty scoring, but it hasn't been their defense. They've, I think, 22 points may have been the biggest score against their defense as they headed down into this game.
A good job by their defense. As we said, the offense, a bit of a problem for Reynoldsburg. Only 2 touchdowns in the last 5 weeks. Gahanna had a bit of an offensive problem, too, losing the last 2 games by a score of 13-7. It's almost like when you take a look at their scores, they peaked at week 4, 32-12, 13-10, 13-6. Westerville South, offense and defense both working well, winning 3-6, and then they had that tough game in the rain against Westland. And then 2 losses right after that. And once again, a deep kick, and this time, who's going to get it? It'll be Reggie Phillips. He'll get his shot at the 15. Phillips trying to work his way top of the screen, but this time, talking to, I think, the Lions kick coverage team will bring Phillips down at just around the 17-yard line.
Yeah, they had the football surrounded that time. There were a lot of white jerseys there, so they were covering that kickoff very nicely. You know what I see is the difference. Now, I know when you wear dark colors, it makes you look smaller. It really does, as opposed to white, like the white jerseys. Those guys look bigger. They're Husky kids, and I do think they have that kind of an advantage over the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are as big as they are.
And let's remember, too, the Raiders will be going to the OCC Capital Division next year. As Perry looks for room top of the screen, it's strung out pretty well. He'll get it up to about the 19-yard line and only gain about 2 on the play. And there's a fumble on the play, and the Lions come up with the ball.
Well, there should have been a fumble on the play. There were 10 defenders there tackling that kid. 1 against 10 doesn't make very good odds, you know.
When Perry tried to turn it upfield, he lost the ball, and with 35 seconds left to go in the 3rd period, the Lions will get the ball back 1st and 10 from their Raider 19-yard line. You know, we're talking about Reynoldsburg, too. Next year, they will move to the OCC Capital, and something that Rob Sass thinks, well, you know, you hate to say you want to move down from the OCC Ohio, but probably something where they can compete a little better. They won't set the world on fire in the OCC Capital next year, but I think it'll be more competitive, and, of course, the North moves up to the OCC Ohio. We have flags on the play as working his way to the bottom of the screen. There you see Todd Reynolds. Reynolds is down inside the 10-yard line, down to about the 9.
Well, the difference in those 2 divisions are all, of course, the size of the relative sizes of the schools, student-wise. And if you have more youngsters to choose from, you're going to have better football teams. Or you should have, if you get good coaching and those kids come up with some kind of a program behind them. The more numbers that you have to deal with, of course, the better off you're going to be, I would think.
Jim Cameron right now down at about the 15-yard line. We're waiting for the signal from Jim. It looks like it could be a legal motion. The call against the Lions with 8 seconds left to go in the 3rd period of tonight's game. Gahanna leading by a score of 24-7. They explain the options right now to Brad Gosnell. I tell you, though, it's going to be interesting next year to see Westerville North and Westerville South in the same division.
Yes,
the legal motion is the call.
There'll be a war in that town. It'll be like the Civil War.
I'll have my windows and doors locked, I tell you that. But I think, you know, everyone has this expectation that when Reynoldsburg moves down, that they're all of a sudden going to be competing for the title instantly. You know, nothing happens that easily when you change divisions. But I think it's something that will be a welcome change for Reynoldsburg. And Gahanna, my goodness, think of the number of juniors they have on this roster and the number of juniors that are starting out there. 8 on offense alone. They're going to be tough next year.
Yes, they are.
Mathematically, still very much alive. Currently in Region 2, Division 1, they are in 6th place. So that Worthington game, Worthington, by the way, is the leader in Region 3, Division 1. Looms very large at this point. We've reached the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, Gahanna 24, Reynoldsburg 7. We'll be back with the 4th quarter in just a moment.
From wheels, hubcaps, wheel covers to rear ends and engines, Deer Creek is headquarters for auto and truck parts. To get to Deer Creek from Columbus, just drive down South High Street. From Scioto Downs, you're just 16 miles away from Deer Creek Truck Headquarters. If you need truck parts, stop here. If you're looking for car parts, drive into Circleville to Route 22 West. West, that is, and you're only 9 miles from the biggest car parts assortment that you'll probably ever see. You'll save big money on parts when you buy from Deer Creek. Need an auto or truck part? Call Deer Creek toll-free. Daily delivery to Columbus.
Friends, only at your #1 volume Chevrolet dealer, Bill Swad Chevrolet, can you buy a brand new car or truck, and then a year from now, next October, can you come in and trade free? That's what we're going to do to one person that we select during the month of October. And during our huge inventory reduction sale, we got 800 cars and trucks. 1987 Chevettes loaded on our showroom floor, lots and lots of them at $4,999. And vans, we'll save you $4,000 to $5,000 on these vans on the showroom floor. Don't make that $4,000 to $5,000 mistake. See us at Bill Swad Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Reynoldsburg High School. Randy Reinhardt and Jim Anderson. A 1st and 15 situation awaits the Gahanna Lincoln Lions from the Raider 23-yard line. 24-7 is the score. And now, as we said, Todd Reynolds in at quarterback for the Lions. Handoff on the play goes to number 30, Rob Reese. Reese, another one of those young and talented juniors at 5'10" and 152. Coach, I want to go over something right now we were talking about before in the AP versus the UPI poll. In AA, in both polls, it's identical. It's Cape number 1, Ironton number 2, Orville number 3, Urbana number 4, and DeSales number 5. In Class Single A, pretty much the same, except for in UPI, the number 4 team in the state is St. Henry. They're ranked number 20 in the AP poll. Shepard up the gut. Shepard, an easy touchdown, scores his second one on the evening, and now very quickly it is a 30-7 Gahanna lead.
Yeah, this has kind of been a surprise now. If you ask me if I'm surprised, I'd have to say, yeah, I wouldn't have expected this kind of a break. They were in the ballgame. Raiders were really in the ballgame for quite a spell,
and a very easy touchdown for Shepard, too. Once he gets through the first wave, untouched the last 10 yards. So 30-7 the score. The extra point attempt by Pfeiffer squibbed a bit, and it is no good. And so with 11:18 left to go, we stay at 30-7.
I thought Shepard was a nice size. 5'10", 5'11", 184 pounds. He runs with a lot of authority, too.
And I tell you, Coach, we talked about this. He had 80 rushes for 401 yards for a 5-yard average. He is not hurting that average at all in tonight's game.
No,
take a look at this from ground level. We'll put you as a third running back in the backfield here. Right there, he gets through there. The last 10 yards, easy. The only people near him are Lions.
He used his footwork very nicely then. He sidestepped 3 different times. He gives them a leg to tackle, and then when they go after, he takes it away. Does a nice job.
We've talked a lot of times this year about the quick second step. Is there anything you can do to coach that, or is that just natural talent?
No, I think you're born with that kind of stuff, you know. A second step just means that you move your feet very, very quickly. You can be fast and still not have quick feet. Well, the quick feet help a great deal if you're a running back, because when that second step comes, it's a balance thing.
Pfeiffer squibs this one up the middle, scooped up by Phillips at the 20. Phillips out near the 30-yard line.
I thought I saw that ball lying there and didn't look like anybody wanted to pick it up.
Stats through 3 quarters look something like this. First downs, Gahanna 9, Reynoldsburg 1. Rushing yards, Gahanna 177, Reynoldsburg 15. Passing yards, Gahanna 94, Reynoldsburg 6. Total yards 271 to 21 in favor of Gahanna. 60 plays for Gahanna to 28 for Reynoldsburg. These stats are unofficial. First and 10, mark the ball at the 31-yard line. Matheny brings the Raiders up to the line of scrimmage, down by 23. Frederick in motion. Matheny looks, he throws, the pass is incomplete, in and out of the hands of Travis Perry.
I don't know what that poor guy has to do to complete a pass, I'll tell you.
You hit it on the nose, Coach.
He'd have a nice evening passing if they just hold on to the football.
As you take a look at the Raider offense with Clapham, Sharps, Long, Cochran, Grace will alternate with Hawthorne, Boren, Bryant, Matheny, Young, Perry, and Frederick. And I tell you, that's probably about the 5th one that's hit someone between the numbers, and they haven't held it.
Yeah, at least. Coach Sass has to be very happy with Matheny. I can't see why he wouldn't be. Has to be as equally unhappy with the receivers.
2nd and 10 now from the 31. Matheny goes back to throw again. Looks for Thompson, and from quarterback to quarterback, picks up about 10 on the play. Almost enough for a Raider first down. Let's mark it a gain of 9. We'll call it a 3rd and 1 situation as we put you on the wing ground level.
That's funny, isn't it? Now, that was one of the more difficult passes
a harder ball to
catch. And that's the kind that they catch, the spectacular play.
Lion defense with Everett, Frazier, Rollins, and Matthews up front. Radcliffe, Nunnally, and Bourne, the linebackers. Kakis, Reynolds, Harmon, and Allison in the secondary. 10:20 left to go right now. A 3rd and 1 for the Raiders. We were talking about Matheny. I have a point I want to touch on about this young quarterback. Just a junior in just a moment. Big quarterback draw up the middle, good for about 8 yards right now. He'll have enough for a Raider first down. Coach, the one thing I've noticed about Matheny is once he sets his mind, though, to passing, he's going to pass. It looks like a couple of times when the receivers have been covered, he has the option perhaps to run.
Yeah. But he's looking for an open receiver. And oftentimes you can find one downfield coming back to the football that might be easy to hit. So you'd rather try to make 20 than 4 or 5.
3 yards in a cloud of dust. How about a quarterback sneak and 8 yards on the play?
Well, he saw that, and you may pick that up with the 43 defense every once in a while.
Thompson in motion, bottom of the screen. Matheny goes back to throw. Looking, pressure is on. 4 Lions in there, and he is under the pile, back around the 38-yard line.
Well, he lost that previous 8 yards and another 1 or 2, didn't he? He had an awfully good rush on him against them that time.
Take a look. We'll put you ground level.
Oh, boy.
And he is nearly blindsided on the play. That happened very fast. Looked like John Thomas. We'll have to check that. Could be a number of different players in there. There were 4 different players. Thomas, the starting center, so it probably wasn't him. His number came by so fast. I tell you, that's the one thing Matheny might have to do is learn how to dish that ball off. But he is an excellent young quarterback, too, and just a junior. He'll be back next year. He has Perry in the flat. Perry turns around, gets the ball at the 35. Perry across the 40. He's up to the 45-yard line. Nice run by Travis Perry.
Yeah, he did a nice job on that end of the pass. He broke a couple of tackles getting to the sideline or close to the sideline. Made about 5 yards, I'd say, on it.
Take a look at this one more time, Coach. The one thing I know is the pass could be a little further out in front of Perry. Makes a great adjustment coming back to the ball. Turns upfield, gets away from one man, and a nice run to pick up an additional 8 yards on the play.
Yes, he did a nice job on the end of that pass.
3rd and extremely long. Let's call it 3rd and about 14. They need to get the ball all the way down to the Lion 42-yard line. Thompson in motion, bottom of the screen. Matheny with pressure on, and he is brought down. This time we'll pick up the number. Stay right there. Follow that man. 50, turn your back, 58. That was right. It is John Thomas, listed as the center, but Thomas in on the sack again. That's 2 for Thomas in the same series here.
Well, you know what's good about him? I watched him a moment ago, about 2 plays ago. He rushes, and he doesn't care what he's hitting. He comes out in the direction of the passer, and if there's anybody in his way, he takes that man with him. And a lot of kids won't do that. That's why he's a good pass rusher.
David Radcliffe also with his arms around Matheny in on the sack. And Kakis will make the fair catch back at around the 33-yard line. The Lions will take over 1st and 10 with 7:52 left to go here in the 4th period. We didn't get a chance to get a whole lot of high school events in because of the pace of tonight's game. We'd like to remind you that for Gahanna, sectional soccer coming up versus Watterson on Tuesday, the 21st at Gahanna, and girls volleyball. If you're watching this Friday night, it's coming up the next day, Saturday, October 18th at 12 noon at Westland High School. They'll be taking on Marion Harding. 1st and 10. Mark the ball at just about the 33-yard line. Reynolds, the quarterback. Hands off, bottom of the screen. That's Hardy. Hardy works his way up to about the 34. He'll only pick up about 1 on the play, setting up the 2nd and 9 situation.
Well, they had him cold turkey that time. There were 4 defenders. 1 was chasing, 3 waiting on him. So he didn't have too much room or too much space to move in that time.
We were talking about birthdays earlier. Bill Kakis turned 18 the beginning of this month. Ricky Cromwell turned 17 on Saturday, the day after we tape this game. Driesbach celebrating his birthday a little early. Turned 17 on Tuesday. Rich Rutkowski does on Wednesday, and Rob Reese turns 17 on the 31st. Bouncing and working his way is Tracy Doss. Doss found nothing inside, bounced off, and worked his way up across the 35 to just about the 37-yard line.
Now that's what I mean by Doss being a strong kid. When he hits the pack, he can bounce off just about a foot, find the opening, and move to it. A lighter back doing that, hitting a pack like that, is going to usually get knocked down. He's going to bounce off far enough that he'll lose his balance.
Just last week, Steve Zemelong, a man who did a great job of bouncing off.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we saw the human 18-wheeler last week and Roger Monroe.
Right.
3rd and 6 situation now. Reynolds hands off. On the carry is number 30, Rob Reese. We talked about him. Reese has scored a touchdown on the season. Reese gets the ball up across the 40-yard line to about the 41. Matt Brown in on the stop. Interesting story. And Matt Brown, 5'10", 155, and a sophomore, and starting at defensive back.
He didn't do a bad job that time. He came into the hole, made the stop.
Put his head down, got the tackle, sets up a 4th and 2 situation. The Lions look like they're going to punt. And I'd have to think back, but I can't remember the last time the Lions punt. It would have to be, I think, probably in the first period.
You're probably right.
Hensley, who averages 32.5 yards a kick, is in. High kick, the best punt he's had of the night. Bounces at the 23 across the 20-yard line. Let it roll. They're rolling it, and it's going down to just about the 8-yard line. The Raiders will be 92 yards away with 5:45 left to go in the 4th period.
That's a long way to go in 5:45 when your offense hasn't been picking up too many first downs. How many first downs do we have for the Reynoldsburg ball team?
Dan Hawk will check that out for you in just a second. I'd like to remind the folks of some other events. St. Charles Open House, October 26th at 3 p.m. Parents and any 7th or 8th grade student interested in visiting the school can get information about the academic and extracurricular programs that St. Charles offers. We'll go over more later on in tonight's game. 1st and 10, mark the ball at the 8-yard line. Matheny, the quick pop. The pass is incomplete. Top of the screen. He was looking for Frederick.
Mr. Frederick didn't quite get the handle on that football. Got there a little quickly, but it was a good enough pass to catch. It was certainly catchable. There was a defender close to him. I don't know whether he'd have made too much after he caught the ball, but he had an opportunity.
Down to 5:24 now. Mike Matheny, 6'1", 170, and a junior. We talked about youth all night. We hate to harp on it, but these are two teams that could be a year away. As good as Gahanna is, they'll probably be even better next year with all the youth that they've got playing out there. Matheny double pumps twice. Is it a safety? They'll mark him down inside the 1-yard line.
That was close. If he'd have taken one more step backward, the momentum of the defender can't put the ball in the end zone for a safety. It has to be the offensive team that puts it in the end zone and gets tackled back there for a safety to be scored.
And Matheny squarely had his feet inside the 1-yard line. Take a look one more time. Double pumps, still looking. And he is grabbed and brought down inside the 1, so it's going to be 3rd and 17. Quick kick time, or let's see if the Raiders go for it here. They'll hand it off inside. They'll get the ball up to about the 5-yard line. Check that to about the 3. That's Travis Perry on the carry. That'll set up a 4th and long situation and force the Raiders to punt.
It's a little tight operating room down there, isn't it?
And Cochran won't have his full 15 yards to get this punt off either. They mark the ball, as we said, at about the 3, so Cochran will be about only 12 yards back from that. He'll only have about a yard to work with behind him.
Yeah, you don't want to get too much closer to the ball than that.
Speaking of safeties, Tyler Nunley for the Lions scored 2 points, or actually is the way the Lions score things. He was credited with 2 points for forcing a safety. Almost had a chance to get in on another one here with 4:14 left to go, and the Lions take timeout. As you take a look at the remainder of our football schedule this season, next week we'll be at Cooper Stadium as the Braves take on the 76ers. Second game of a doubleheader we'll be bringing. That'll be interesting to see if we can get everything going in time for 11 o'clock. On the 31st, the wild card game. We'll go wherever the best game is in the area. Games we are considering right now include DeSales and Hartley. That would be taking place at Beechcroft High School, or perhaps Westerville South at Worthington. We'll have to see. And what a season Coach Siemens had with that team up at Cardinal Land right now. I'll tell you, aren't they something? We were going to go over computer ratings while we have the chance. Let's do that now. Division 1, Region 2, Youngstown, Austintown, Fitch. Actually, Austintown Fitch. I've lived up there, so it's Austintown Fitch, 89. Westerville North, 76, is 3rd. And then Groveport is 5th at 70.5. Gahanna 6th at 65.5. Worthington leads Region 3 with 91. Chillicothe 4th at 56.5. Upper Arlington 8th at 51.5. Eastmore 9th at 49.5. And as we're speaking, they have a big game with Mifflin at Eastmore High School. Line drive punt. Kakis at the 33. Kakis at the 30. Trying to turn the corner. 25, 20. Kakis 15. And Kakis is out of bounds around the 10-yard line. Excellent run back by Kakis on that play. One more man to beat, and he could have made it into the end zone.
He's pretty fast. He got on the corner. I didn't think he would, but he got on the corner.
Well, he's fast, but watch him shift speeds. He's a very, I guess you'd say, shifty runner.
Shifty,
watch this. Take a look at this. It doesn't look like he has room, as Coach said, but he works his way to the top of the screen. Watch. Turns it on now. Turns the corner right there to the 20. He gets down to about the 13-yard line, has to sidestep those 2 Raiders. Otherwise, he could have taken it in.
Yep.
1st and 10 now, full house backfield. The handoff goes to the up back. That's number 14, and that's Doss. And Doss works his way up for a gain of just about 3 on the play, setting up a 2nd down situation. Under 4 minutes left to go in tonight's game.
Bourne and Doss are fine fullbacks. Eric Shepard's a fine, hard running back. Doss is more the Monroe type, though. He's built closer to the ground. He uses power more than finesse. Shepard's a finesse runner, and so is Bourne. They do an excellent job.
2nd down, coach, and 6. I think they can actually get a 1st down without getting the ball in the end zone. Pitch top of the screen goes to number 32. That's Keith Estes. And Estes works the ball inside the 5-yard line down to 3:21 left to go in tonight's game. And I tell you that the Lions go to 6-2 on the season. They have to be happy with the performance of their team tonight. More importantly, they get ready for that big game next week against Worthington. And boy, it's like a bonanza at the end of the rainbow looking for those points. As you can see, this series being quarterbacked by Chris Pfeiffer. Before, you saw him using his foot. Now he's using his arm right now with 2:57 left to go. 3rd and goal. Let's call it 3rd and 2, actually. They can get a first down before they get the ball in the end zone. The dive series inside will gain just about a yard or so. It looks like they'll have a 4th down situation. And short is on the carry is number 30, Rob Reese. 70, Sean Moore. And Randy Hawthorne in on the stop for the Raiders.
Reese and Estes, this is the first time we've seen them, isn't it?
We're going 3 deep right now, Coach.
Yeah, they're not looking bad either.
4th and a little less than 2. They can pick up a first down before they score. Flags on the play before the handoff to number 32, Keith Estes, and we'll sort out that situation. Excellent job done tonight by our crew, Jim Fred Cameron, as he is known. Umpire John Weil. The linesman is Ray Wood. The line judge, Tony Pelican, and the back judge, Tom Burton.
What is it, 30-7, huh?
With 2:23 left to go, did you pick up the hanky? We'll pick it up right now from Jim Cameron. Dead ball foul. It is encroachment, the call against the Lions. Remember, in high school football, you have encroachment. You do not have offsides. This is week number 8. It's the last time we'll say that. Class dismissed. 4th and 7. Pfeiffer pitches bottom of the screen. Estes again tries to turn the corner. 5, diving his way down close to the goal line.
Estes almost made himself a touchdown, didn't he? That was a nice job of running and keeping his balance.
137, Coach.
Oh, yeah, he's no giant. Did a nice job keeping his balance. Very nice.
Take a look at this one more time. Estes. There you see. You saw half of one play and half of the regular play with Estes there, previous play from in the first half. The ball is inside the 1-yard line. Remember, we said they could perhaps get a first down without scoring. And let's see if they measure or not. They say no, it is not enough for a first down, so the Raiders will take over on downs. First down, mark the ball now closer to just about the 2-yard line with 1:59 left to go here in tonight's game. And a Raider timeout taken. That is their 3rd timeout. They have none left unofficially here in the second half. Our thanks to everyone involved in tonight's game, to the director for tonight's game, Joe Tanzarello, the entire crew. Rose Gray does an outstanding job on graphics and coordinating a lot of things, getting the mail to me, letting me know who writes, who doesn't, and so I can try to correspond to all you out there. Our thanks to her. Our thanks to Mike Finks on audio, Drexel Yokoyama, John Nakauchi, Tom Clemens, Mark McComas, Rich Sawyer. Our thanks to everyone at all 3 cable companies for making high school sports possible on cable TV. 1:57 left to go, a 30-7 lead for Gahanna. Very quickly, Coach, you take a look at these two teams, and how do you assess the performance tonight? What happens next week for these two?
Well, I think that Reynoldsburg's got to find themselves. You know, they have to start moving the football. They have to work very hard. They can't get let down now. They still have 2 games to go to finish the season. They have a young team, and that team needs to have some good experiences now at the end of the season. They can all afford to finish that, because by coming in with 2 more tough games against them, they're going to have a tough time opening next year, even though they're a young team. So,
1st and 10, mark the ball just about at the 2-yard line. Handoff working his way top the screen is number 45. That's Tom Weller. Tom is 5'11", 200 pounds, and a freshman fullback.
Didn't look bad toting the ball then, did he? That was a nice tackle in the open field by Colin Richards also.
He'll advance the ball out to about the 8-yard line, a gain of 6, make it 2nd and 4. Richards, an interesting man, moved here from Idaho. Nickname, guess what? Think of Idaho.
Potato.
No, Spud. Oh, Coach. The cold air is just as bad for you as the warm air, I'll tell you that. Travis Perry trying to work his way outside, bottom of the screen. Good hitch move, 10, 15, 20, 25. Perry dragged down from behind by number 19, Rick Cromwell. But we do have a flag on the play, so we'll sort out this with 1:11 left to go here in the 4th period. Potato.
Wow, how did they get his face mask?
Potato.
Potato.
Oh, Coach.
Hey,
disappointed.
See?
Take a look at this one more time.
You're from the farm, and I'm from the big city, see? So I don't know that stuff with the Spud.
There's on the tackle right there. You could see that Cromwell reached in front and pulled on the face mask there. Now march the ball out an additional 5 yards. Move it out to the Raider 44-yard line. Clock moves once again down close to 1 minute left to go in tonight's game. I'm a farm boy, but I live in the big city now.
We'll teach you.
1st and 10, Matheny pitch. Here comes Perry now. He'll try to turn the corner again. Perry across midfield. Perry down to the Lion 48-yard line. The Lions, an impressive performance. You kind of wonder what happened. You know, the thing you have to remember, I think the caliber of the OCC, Ohio, Worthington is the only undefeated team. But when you're talking to UA, you're talking to Groveport, you're talking some of these schools, every week is a new adventure.
Yeah, that's a good league. There's no doubt about that. That's one of the finest leagues in this area. Probably in the state.
Raiders quickly to the line of scrimmage. Handoff goes inside to Weller. He'll advance the ball across the 45 down to about the 43. Looks like he has enough for a Raider first down. The clock will stop as the chains are moved. With 24 seconds left to go, the ball is ready for play. The clock starts again. We could be witnessing the last play of tonight's ball game as Matheny brings him up to the line of scrimmage one more time. Frederick in the slot to the top of the screen. We're down to 14. Matheny goes back to throw. He's got Perry in the flat, but he's going long. Looking for Bryant. The pass is overthrown and nearly intercepted on the play. Back in coverage was number 45, Spud Richards.
Is Matheny
a junior? Yes, Coach, he is. 6'1" and 170.
He's going to make himself, or make Reynoldsburg a fine quarterback next year. I don't think he's looked bad tonight, quite frankly. I think he's done an excellent job. He had the one keep up the middle, and he hasn't mishandled a football. He's gotten the ball away most of the time when he's had any kind of a chance to set up, and the ball's been very close to the receivers, if not right on their numbers. So I think they have a lot to look forward to in that young man.
You saw Don Hauser looking on with 8 seconds left to go as Gahanna leads by a score of 30-7. Matheny twins to the top of the screen now. Goes back to throw. He's looking long. He's throwing it out for number 14 on the play, Troy Dursum, and just out of his reach around the 10-yard line. 3 seconds left to go.
That was a nice effort by Bursum to catch the football, but that pass was almost right on his fingertips. That was a nice throw. That was a long one.
Dursum checks in at 6'4" and 145 pounds and a junior.
Well, that 6'4" part's important for a receiver. That helps you. That's got to help you if you have receivers that tall. You can put that kind of a pass downfield, and it might have a chance of being caught.
Dursum wide bottom of the screen. Bryant to the top. Matheny, last play of the game, looks downfield. The pass is incomplete. Looking for Dursum on the play. Gahanna, an outstanding performance in the second quarter. They broke it open in the third, came back after the Raiders had scored. They win by a score of 30-7. We'll be back with some closing comments and our Sports Medicine Grant players of the game in just a moment.
Buckeye Optical fits my style.
Imagine this, imagine that, imagine this and that too.
So express yourself with fashion eyewear from Buckeye Optical and save with these terrific coupons. $10 off a complete pair of glasses, buy a pair of glasses and get half off a second pair, or buy 2 pair of glasses and get a third pair free. Look for details in the Buckeye Optical Vision Report in your paper note.
Hi, I'm Earl Bruce, coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes. In my years at Ohio State, we've accumulated a winning record. But of course, it's the fine athletes I have the privilege of coaching who have made that happen. I'm proud of those athletes, and they take pride in themselves. That's why they stay away from drugs and alcohol. Anybody can pretend to be a big man with drugs and alcohol. I know that not everyone has the ability to go out for the football team, and not everyone on the team has the ability to be a hero. But you do have the ability to stand tall and say no to drugs and alcohol, so you can be the biggest hero of all. Say no to drugs and alcohol, then tackle life.
Welcome back to Reynoldsburg High School, the 40th anniversary of the high school. Unfortunately, bad news for Reynoldsburg's fans. They lost to Gahanna Lincoln tonight by a score of 30-7. Outstanding performance in the second and third period by the Lions to move on to that victory to go 6-2 on the season. Let's take a look now at our Sports Medicine Grant players of the game. First of all, from Gahanna Lincoln High School, we picked number 22, Eric Shepard. Eric unofficially rushed for 83 yards in the game. He's 5'10", 184, and a junior, and he scored 2 touchdowns. A great performance. For Reynoldsburg, we picked number 82, Brad Gosnell, 6'2", 190, and a senior. Excellent offensive performance, and we saw an excellent defensive performance, too, didn't we, Coach?
We certainly did. I thought Brad Gosnell was just excellent the whole ball game. Every time I had my glasses on a defender and I looked at the number, it was 82, and he was making the tackle. They play him at a defensive end. They could play him anywhere. He'd make just as many tackles as I mentioned to you. I thought the offensive game was outstanding for the Lions. They really picked up the pace going into the second quarter, and it was outstanding. It was a fine offensive display by the Lions. Did an excellent job blocking in the line and by the backs, great ball handling, ball carrying by the backs. It was a fine offensive show, really.
When the Lions needed a big play, it seems like Shepard came through for him. On that 4th and long situation, took it right up the gut, 27 yards.
Yeah, I thought that tonight we saw good offensive football. We haven't seen too much offense this year, so it was kind of interesting. I enjoyed it.
And we didn't see a shutout.
Yeah, that's right. We didn't see any shutout.
Let's take a look at the stats on tonight's game. These are unofficial. First of all, first downs. Gahanna had 9, Reynoldsburg 5. Rushing yards, Gahanna 207, Reynoldsburg 67. Passing yards, Gahanna 3 of 10, but for 94 yards. Reynoldsburg 3 of 16 for 20 yards. Total yards, Gahanna 301. Reynoldsburg 87 in tonight's game. Gahanna ran 70 plays to 45 for Reynoldsburg. Anything surprise you there, Coach?
Yeah, I thought that Reynoldsburg would show a little bit more offense than they showed. I know Coach Sass has to be a little bit disturbed about it because they didn't rack too many yards up from the line of scrimmage. Now, the big play, of course, was the kickoff return for 96 yards, I guess it was, and that was a fine play. But you have to have more offense than that. You know, that's kind of like what we call a Hail Mary shot. You know, it was great blocking. They did an excellent job on that return, but they have to get that offense going. They're going to have to work very hard this week because they want something going into those last 2 ball games.
And we love that cold weather, don't we?
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
You're from Minnesota, you know that?
No, I'm not, but it was a little bit chilly up there, but I enjoy the cold. I don't like the heat.
Okay, let's take a look at the records now for the 2 teams as I have no pride wearing my trench coat here to keep warm. Gahanna goes to 6-2 on the season, 3-2 in the OCC Ohio. Reynoldsburg, nothing to be ashamed of. They go to 1-7 overall, and they are 0-5 in league play. Next week, we'll be at Cooper Stadium as Whetstone and Independence do battle in a City League Blue competition. I'm Randy Reinhardt. For the entire Coaxial Communications Productions crew and for Jim Anderson, so long from Reynoldsburg High School.
Tonight's game was brought to you in part by Buckeye Optical and Ohio Appliance Rental.